get drugged, probably. They're going to be taken advantage of, probably. And this is the place where Ryan Garcia decides to make his camp. This is the place where Ryan Garcia decides to live. I'm not mad at him. He can have this life. But how on earth is this any semblance of what a boxer should be doing to make himself the best? He said, nah, fuck the whole state. Not that deep to me, in my opinion. Just another dumb civilian on video. Sure. It's not that deep to you because, Alex, you don't have any friends that are professional fighters. You don't have any friends. Well, maybe you do. I don't know, but not at this level. I mean, you don't have any friends that are competing at this level. You don't have any friends that none of us know anybody.
You're telling Alex he doesn't have any friends?
No, like Ryan Garcia, at that level of Ryan Garcia, right? So it's no big deal to you because this is just another clip you're consuming. But what you don't understand is the way LeBron became LeBron is by not fucking around like this. The way Mike Trout became Mike Trout is not fucking around like this. The way that De La Hoya, the way that Mayweather, the way that Fury maybe, but the way all these guys got to this level is by not fucking around. And when Fury did fuck around, he found out. And then he came back and changed everything. All I'm saying is this is not weirdo behavior because it's very, very normalized over there. What I'm saying is that it's like it's detrimental to his ability to be a fighter and have a real career. Also, he's like a 10-year-old dude. Right? It's like there's like a 10-year-old guy in like a 27-year-old body, right? Just like everything about him, the way he moves, it's just like child. It's you're a kid. And I'm not talking shit. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying at what point does, Drake's boy become a man? You know what I'm saying? Like, and I'm not saying Drake's boy. I'm just mean like Drake's the boy that says he wants to become a man. Like, at what point is Ryan in that same kind of journey? That's all I'm saying. Justin, shout out to Justin. Matt, I mean, yeah, let me see. Let me do it here. Yeah, Matt, let me ask you or do you want to give any take on Ryan Garcia or no? Oh, I can't hear you now. All of a sudden I can't hear you now.
Good, we good?
Now you're good. Yeah.
Okay. Now I was saying I was up to the show a little late. I was gonna pick up where we left off in the comments as we were covering this Ryan stuff. I don't really care for this Ryan stuff. You know what I mean? It's kind of just like him doing his thing.
Do you think he could be helpful to his career?
I do see what you're saying with like the child actor stuff, though. It seems like he's on that kind of trajectory,
doesn't it?
Yeah, but it's anyway. Just the era that we live in right now, bro. It's the social media era. He's gonna be on everything. Everybody wants to, show their everyday life. Then it's just the thing that people are into nowadays, bro. I don't know.
That's what I'm saying. It's like I see that. And that's really what the point I'm trying to make, right? That's the point I'm trying to make. This would not be a big deal. I would be right where Alex is. This is just nonsense, right? But it's all it's all the time. It's every week. I haven't seen this kid in a real boxing session since before his last fight. And I don't even know how many of those he had.
Well, all I'm saying is that we said that when he was getting ready for Barrios and he looked fine. So, I mean, it's got to be working.
And he said, he was fucking around. And then yet on his other fight with Rolly, he said that he had the best camp. So it's like, there's something going on with Ryan that is not on the up and up. I'm not saying he's like a weirdo or like a fucking drug addict. Not at all. What I'm saying is that he's a liar. He's a kid who's a liar. Yes, I think up here too.
I don't even think that, bro. He's a kid.
No, I think he is a liar.
He's a kid that got a lot of money early.
Yes, that's another thing is what it is.
This is why I said that child actor comparison was really good because it's the same thing, bro. Look at all your former Nickelodeon stars and Disney stars.
Exactly.
They come in contact with millions and millions of dollars, and they're doing the same thing Ryan's doing. They're just wilding out and being a part of everything.
Hell yeah. Hey, and what's the other big thing that's similar? The parents are financially
fanning the flames. They're fanning the flames.
They're fanning the flame because they like the kids from what was that show called? Where the dude would always have that girl's feet on air. It was fucking weird. iCarly.
You mean
like the kids from iCarly
show ever?
Nickelodeon. Yes, exactly. It's like that, right? Like all these kids were like doing really well. But what you didn't know behind the scene was like the parents basically pushing him into these things that they really didn't even want to do. I'm not saying Ryan doesn't want to do this stuff. I'm saying he wants to do this stuff. He would rather be Neon. He would rather be, I think, Aiden Ross than
he's
to
doing
be the next
thing, bro.
Badass fighter.
Let me ask you this, though. Let me ask you this. Would you rather see Ryan getting in arguments on Twitter, or would you rather see him doing this?
Very well said. Very good point. Man, you're so good at this, dude. Yeah, no, I talk shit about everyone for an hour.
Completely shits the bed, and then I have to
no shit. Again. I can't go back on what I said about it 30 minutes ago, right? Which you just put me into a big hole now. But you're right. I would rather this than the Twitter finger shit. Yeah. I am much more annoyed by Shakur and Haney's situation, not them two as individuals, but their two situations, right? Than I am of this. So that's a very good point. At the same time, Haney has earned the right to a degree to be the way he is on Twitter. He's
Mario.
Okay. Hold on, okay, Mario, he's earned it when you compare him to the Tio, or to maybe not to Tio, but to everyone else, right?
Hey, I understand that fully, bro, but you have to continue to update your resume, bro, and that's across all sports. You know that, and I know that. Sure. What you've done, that Brian Norman fight is going to go on a year if he doesn't get in the ring soon. You haven't done nothing since Norman. And then before that, you didn't do nothing till you undisputed because they discredited your 140-pound win against Regis Prograis. So you got to update that resume, baby. I'm sorry.
Fair. Listen, here's the thing. I'll say you won this one already. All right. I just want to have the conversation just for a little bit longer, but I'll say you won this one already because you're right. 2025 is fucking crazy, dude. 2025 November is fucking crazy work. Like you could just take another fight. Yeah. Like, you could just fight anybody, right?
Yes.
Now here's the other thing though. When we look at what he's actually done, let's do that for a second, okay? Because he's still only 27, 33 bouts, 15 wins, 0 losses, technically. But we go down this list and tell me who's fighting guys in this order. Show me Shakur or Tank or even Ryan or even Tio. A resume that looks like this. He fought Brian Norman, the boogeyman. Everybody can talk shit about Brian Norman Jr. now, which that makes them fucking pussies. But everybody can talk shit about Brian Norman Jr. now, and that makes them pussies like they did with Frank Martin. But he represented something different, right? This is the same argument I got into with Ness in the Boxing Voice a while back, where I said that Crawford beat his version of Triple G by doing what he did to Spence. Guys like Ness and guys like a lot of other people, they play Monday morning quarterback. Okay, I know how to do that, and I do it very well, playing Monday morning quarterback, but I also can respect the situation that we're in, right? Like I have the ability, and this is why I think I'm a pretty decent writer. I have the ability to put my mindset back to where I was when that thing happened. So like, for example, when I was in college, I wrote a short story that got nominated for an award. And I wrote it about a girlfriend experience that I had, right? And so that whole situation taught me something. And I was able to, 8 years after, or maybe 6 years after it happened, whatever, I was able to like channel myself into this like 16, 15-year-old kid who had his heart broken. Even though that's not who I am, I'm able to do that. So when you can look at a guy like Brian Norman Jr. and say, what did that fight represent going into it? That's a marquee win, okay? Jose Ramirez, not a marquee win, but a marquee position that was meant to solidify the Ryan Garcia, Devin Haney fight. So you can give him credit, or you can give him an out for that one. Ryan Garcia, obviously, Regis Prograis, Vasyl Lomachenko, George Kambosos twice. I mean, the list goes on. And yes, Joseph Diaz isn't a huge win at that point. Jorge Linares isn't the world beater that he once was considered. Gamboa had been exposed. But again, I ask you, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 fights in a row where he's fought somebody with a credible name and or a lot of momentum heading into the fight. So I'm gonna ask you, are you sure you want to call Devin? Are you sure you want to say that about Devin again? Yes, the consistency of him fighting, the activity is questionable, but certainly not the opponent choice, right?
Bro, but Mario, you and I both know in the fight game, especially, it's all about what have you done for me lately? Is it not?
And lately he beat
lately he's only fought Brian Norman and a bad boring performance against Ramirez. That's the only thing he's had. And then I can only credit that to your 2 fights at welterweight, and that's it. So
fair.
Everything
no,
else,
that's fair.
Everything else, like you pointed out, those are great wins. Jojo Diaz, Regis Prograis, fighting Lomachenko, that's 140 and under. But you are now a welterweight and a champion at welterweight, and you're doing exactly what we complained about. He's holding a belt hostage and not really making any fights. I understand if you want to make a big fight, that's fine. But get in the ring and fight. You have to stay active here.
Fair. That's fair. Okay, so listen, I want to move on to the big topic everybody's been talking about. 50 Cent keeps clowning Floyd Mayweather after leaked Al Heyman audio. Now, if you are under a fucking rock and don't know what is about to happen, let me tell you. 50 Cent, over the last 24 hours, released video or audio, I should say, that he claims to be a phone recording conversation between Leonard Ellerbe and one Al Heyman. And the context of the conversation, Floyd Mayweather. So let's hear it first real quick.
I told you I was just pissed. I didn't like what, It's okay. You just worry about your family and you worry about yourself. Me and you stay close together, and we're gonna put his little ass in the ground. You'll see. Yeah, because like I said, that just pissed me off. Come on, he owned the fucking PBC. Yeah, well, he's been saying that for many years. He's been saying that. You don't own another fucking thing. You own yourself. Yeah. And don't get you want to bunch of millions of dollars. Don't worry about that. He's got the ability about to take the between have money for. I got us covered, man. You just do your thing. Me and you are covered. Okay. Yeah, okay, partner. We get to work tomorrow on the other thing on that. Yeah, and your stuff's already in your money be in your bag before you leave. Okay. Thank you, brother. Okay.
All right. So that was the thing. Let me read the article. Who wrote it? Let's see. Bryson Boom Paul. Why does Hot 97 have to have people's nicknames in the thing? It's so gay. Like, oh, do we call him Boom? Is Boom his name? God, so stupid. Anyway, hip-hop mogul 50 Cent and boxing Floyd Mayweather Jr.'s longtime feud continues to rage on, this time by sharing an alleged leaked audio recording that he claims features influential boxing figures Al Heyman and Leonard Ellerbe discussing the undefeated icon. 50 Cent posted the clip on social media alongside a caption that immediately grabbed attention. Al Heyman and Leonard Ellerbe saying they will bury Floyd's little ass for saying he owns PBC, 50 wrote. So the post quickly spread across social media, fueling debate amongst boxing hip-hop fans. However, the recording remains unverified. The audio's authenticity has not been confirmed. According to a transcript shared by 50 Cent, one voice says, "I'm just glad I told you I was just pissed. I didn't want, the conversation later shifts to Premier Boxing and others. Bill's about to take complete control and have monitoring for him. Your money is in your bank before you leave." If authentic, the exchange could point to an internal disagreement surrounding Mayweather and PBC. Still, there is no independent evidence confirming the voices belong to Al Heyman or Ellerbe. The controversy arrives as artificial intelligence continues to blur the line between real and fabricated audio. Without third-party verification, the recording should be treated as unproven claim. Okay. The latest post also continues to one of hip-hop's most enduring celebs beefs, blah, 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 whether the legend or just entertaining mogul and boxing champion far from ever. Okay. So, Matt, real or not?
That I don't know. Because obviously, with the tools that we have at our hand, and just like Alex is bringing up now, anything can be made, using AI, using any kind of program. You can make up any kind of thing you want. People are making full-length movies with AI and actors. Although I did take it upon myself when I first got the message, like everybody else, and I sent it to myself and put it in my programs that I have, and it claims that it is not made with AI, but it can only confirm the one voice of Leonard Ellerbe. I don't know if you've given that a shot, Mario, but that's what both of my programs that I use told me. It doesn't seem like AI is being used, and only the voice of Leonard Ellerbe is heard. It doesn't know who the other voice is. So even AI doesn't know what the hell Al Heyman sounds like, and has never heard him speak or in person. Let's put that out there. So
My bad. My mic was muted. No, that's a very fair point to make. Why is this happening? What the fuck? Oh, there we go.
We're like
okay.
a Brady Bunch now.
I know. No. That's a very good point you made. I'm glad you made it. Let's see. Oh, I'll fix it like this. Nope, that's not gonna work. All right. Well, never mind. We'll just do this. So, that's a very good point you made. I agree that this could definitely be AI. In fact, when I first heard it, like, okay, I've heard Al's voice twice in my life. The first time I heard it was a recording that got sent to us from one of our writers or videographers. And it was the first time we ever heard Al's voice altogether. And I can tell you that when I heard his voice the second time in person, I could remember it very well. I mean, not very well, but I could remember it. Like, I remember thinking, oh, that sounds like Al. That sounds like the guy, remember. That did not sound like the Al I remember. And yet at the same time, I have no like real time I've ever spent with him talking, right? Like, so I can't sit here and be like, oh, well, that doesn't sound like the 2 times that I heard Al. Like, obviously, you know what I mean? But at the same time, I don't know. I just even let me say I've never heard Al before. And then I'm going to picture a Harvard educated black dude who deals with all the biggest finance people in the industry. And he's just going to be like, yeah, we going to bury that ass. Then we going to play the deuces on his grave. Like, nah, that don't sound like fucking the way I think Al would probably talk. But at the same time, old black men kind of got away with themselves. You know what I mean? Like, old Mexican men will break into Tex-Mex where I'm from. Like, even if they're like 2 like millionaires, they'll just all of a sudden bet on my way. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like maybe like old black dudes get together and they'll start like, you know what I mean? Chopping it up, code switching. All I'm saying is that I don't believe it fully. I don't believe it because I just don't believe Al would move that sloppy, dude. Like, who's recording your voice at that point? Like it's like, wait,
another no good person that needs proof, bro.
Exactly. Like, did the Watson twins sneak in and like plant a bug on their phone? Like, it just sounds crazy. Like, the fact that 50 would even have that audio, right? And at the same time, you have to give credence to the fact that 50's gotten a bunch of shit that we're like, what the fuck? And it ended up being true, right? He did the P. Diddy thing not that long ago. He had all that info come to him. So I could believe somebody would go to him. I can't imagine who, because what would they gain out of it? Like, this gained nothing for no one except for 50. And he didn't really gain anything but a day or 2 of traction, right? This all goes away next weekend. But
I think what is super important though, bro, is a lot like what Joseph is pointing out in the comments. Because when you go through the comments of 50 Cent's posts, right, you see a Gervonta Davis, you see a Andre Berto, and you see a lot of people who have done business with Al Heyman, kind of giving the reaction that is Al Heyman in that audio. And it's the fact that they're reacting that the way that they are, bro, kind of reaffirms to the point that it is real. Now, who would do this? I mean, that's hard to pinpoint a person specifically who this would be done to, but this is the boxing business, Mario. This was a business that was run by the mob at one point. Business like this, I'm not surprised that there's probably hidden audio everywhere that we don't know about.
Oh yeah, no. I believe that too now. I do. And here's the thing, like, I don't want to get like crazy in this because I know that you just tapped in your channel too, so I'm gonna be careful. But there is a country, I'm not gonna say it, but they rhyme with Pizzarel. No, I'm just kidding. I was like, I'm just gonna fucking do it. No. But in all seriousness, I think over the last like couple decades, and I'm not just picking on Israel, obviously, we've seen that's how a lot of these like weirdo millionaire like shifty groups move. They create these, they become friends with you, right? And they saddle up to you, and then they record you doing horrific shit so they can have it on you forever. Like, it's not a conspiracy. That's not something
Scientology does.
Exactly. Scientology, Israel. there's so many different places and people that exploit this method that I'm not going to be the one to be like, no, this couldn't be. No, not at all. Like, this is what they do in entertainment. Like, how many rappers do we have to come out to say that they were filmed doing gay shit and then held it over their head for years? How many times do we have to hear that before we realize that's exactly what these fucking sickos are doing? Right.
Yes.
The worst, like, here's the thing. I don't want my niece to join ISIS ever. That would be the worst thing ever. But I'll be honest, I would feel better about her saying, hey, I'm going to go join ISIS than her saying, hey, I'm going to go try to become an actress in Hollywood. Like, literally, like, no, one of those is a guaranteed rape. Like, you know what I mean? And it should be the ISIS one. And I don't think it is. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm just crashing out. Floyd will fight Iron Mike Tyson this year and hopefully find a way out of the Manny fight.
They already said both of those fights are off, bro.
Yeah, I heard the Mike fight off. That's what I heard.
Yeah, they said both of those. Floyd is in, and Alex brought it up like he kind of is, put on a great poker face like nothing's wrong. But there's something going on, bro, somewhere.
Bad.
There's something going on. Somebody, there's money that went somewhere that wasn't there where it was not supposed to go, and it seems like it was split between Heyman, Mayweather, and at least Ellerby. Because Espinoza and Showtime have kind of faded into black around all this situation, haven't they? Because it's mainly just conversations around the business of the PBC, which would explain why Al Heyman kind of threw what's his name? Oh man, blanking on his name. The ones that get with all the Cuban fighters. What's his name? Louis de Cubas. Louis de Cubas is kind of took in the main front of like, hey, I gotta handle this. You just be the face of PBC for a minute and handle these fighters. So I don't know, but it seems super strange. But then, yeah, it sounds old. Also brought up, shout out to Joseph again in the comments, that 50 Cent has been reaching out to Floyd to be like, hey, I can help you. So Mario, is this simply an enemy of my enemy situation now?
I can't imagine a worse situation, because I think it is, but I don't think you can act if you're Floyd, right? Like, if you're Floyd, you go back to 50, that's a situation where you work for him. I can't imagine like 50's not going to be like,
work with them at least.
No. That's over. See, I think 50 was willing to work because 50 never lost that power that he has as an entertainer and as a producer.
I don't think it would be a forced situation though, because based off what 50 Cent has been doing in the recent history, bro, he's exposing things. He would need Mayweather to, he's obviously going after Al Heyman, or somewhere in that boxing spirit, his eyes are locked right there.
I think he
knows Floyd has the information he needs.
I think that if you're 50, you probably blame Ellerby and Heyman for what the causation of your deteriorated relationship with Floyd, right? But at the same time, if you're 50, the pain has to come from what Floyd did, because that was your friend, right? Al, those guys are business guys that are going to do what business guys do. But what is my friend going to do, right? Because I expect when I make a friend, exactly. And so he's saying this like, oh, I want to expose the people that basically like broke this. But at the same time, now Floyd had his shot. I can't imagine a guy like 50, the business that he does and the shrewdness that he has. I can't imagine him going in and saying, hey, Floyd, remember when we were going to do this partnership that we were going to have 50-50 or you're going to have 60-40, and now you fucked it all up and it's just a money drain on you and you don't know where your money is and now you need help? Okay, now we can do this, but it's going to be 60 on my side.
Okay, man. So that
because you need me now. I don't need you, Floyd. I don't give a fuck what you're doing. I got power. I could run power for the next fucking 30 years.
I don't even think it's that, though. I think
what do you think it is?
It just, Floyd, I'm going to help you get this money that they fucked you over with, because they probably fucked 50 Cent too.
I can't imagine they fucked 50 too, other than the partnership he was supposed to have.
He was supposed to get some money, and then obviously the music business is as dirty as it is, where Al Heyman comes from, right? Who 50 Cent is not much of a friend of Jay-Z and Beyonce, who Al Heyman is associated with also. So
very good point.
You got to think too, bro. That's why I'm saying it's the enemy of my enemy. Like, I know, like, hey, me and you were beefing, Mario, but me and you were cool at one point. Now we're going up against the establishment that we were supposed to come up with together. I have the power right now to help you.
I get that. But see, this is what I'm saying. It's like, I can't ever vibe with that. Right. And that's what I was talking that shit about Hollywood. Right. Like,
what if
I'm
you
not
have no other choice?
Shit, but this is what I'm trying to say, though. No,
if we're assuming Floyd has no money, he needs 50.
Sure. But that's what I'm trying to say is like, how bad does he need him? Because if I'm 50, I know that need. I recognize it. I'm going to take advantage of that. See, if you and me, we're going to start our own channel, right? And we had audio of Ness saying, yes, Mr. Hearn, I will love Matchroom and do everything for that million you're going to give me, which is not true. Obviously, that never happened. But let's just say it did. And we had the audio. Bro, I would never in a million years do that to Ness. Never. Right. Even if it meant that I was going to get the biggest show in the world and I was going to be making 6 figures a month. No, fuck that. I would never do that to Ness. I would never do it to you. I would never do it to Mex. I expect the same from y'all. Not because I've told y'all or said anything, because this is how I expect men work. I was raised like a man. I expect you were too. And I recognize it in you. So I'm going to hold you to it. See, but these dudes Mario, don't act like that. 50 Cent's not some fucking Mario, man. He gets played. Tell me the one entertainment. That's it. Money. That's it.
Variable that you can't plug in is they're handling millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars.
Absolutely.
Me and you could pretend to add that factor and try to keep our morals straight. But if me and you were handling $500 million fucking dollars in total and legal fees, and somebody's gonna get fucked out of this, I'm pretty sure we do whatever it takes to not be the ones taking the fall.
Yeah, no.
Which is crazy.
Sorry, Ness just texted me
back. Real quick though, did you make your Xander Boots pick? You know, just for my crowd, real quick, we'll touch on it and we'll go back to this conversation.
Yes, go ahead, do it.
I looked at the weigh-in because I didn't realize they were doing the weigh-in so early. They both look very great shape. They both seem very, very confident. I think for sure, if you're gonna make me pick a fighter, I think I'm gonna ride on the side of Xander Zayas. I think, and I'm leaning that at like a 1% difference, if anything, as close to even as you could possibly get, because it's the simple things like we talked about, Mario. This guy, Xander Zayas, is on the way up, unified champion. He's really testing himself. He's been wanting to make these fights. Boots Ennis, now that he has been a unified champion in a different way, he has a good couple wins under his belt, but his resume is equal to Xander, I would say. Granted, you know, the Stenonius win and a couple other wins under his belt would raise more eyes just because you know the names. But if you look at Xander, he's been brought up the right way, built him up to this pace to where he can become full 154-pounder in the young peak of his early man body. Then you break it down to, okay, Boots Ennis has seemingly the better skill on tape. But in his last few fights, he's been losing that focus. And I've never liked that. Xander, I've seen stay focused and then eventually bite down to win the rounds. The last fight I'd take, me and you talked about it too when it happened early on. We gave him a pass for that last round because he was just trying to entertain the people in his fight. Xander, he was trying to entertain the people of Puerto Rico in that fight. But I'm going to go with Xander. But I am also, I don't remember who it was early in the comment. I think it was Low, maybe. I'm also gonna sprinkle that on the draw, because just like I said, like when people kept saying Justin Gaethje was gonna win at the White House and it kept coming up, I'm like, this is so weird. It's just popping up out of nowhere. The draw keeps like popping up in more and more and more. The draw. So put something on that draw, but I'm leaning Xander to take a decision here.
I love the draw pick. I do. I love the draw pick, and I'll tell you why. Because this is the exact same thing that shout out to Bruce. Bruce said a little bit ago on the chat, right? He said, my brain is telling me Boots, and my heart is telling me Xander. And I feel the exact same way, because in my brain, I know what quality boxing looks like, and that looks like Boots. But in my heart, I've been in really bad situations in the ring, and I know that there were moments that I either had it or didn't have it that helped me out of that. And so when I see Xander in that same situation, so if I see the skill versus the unattainable grit, then who comes out on top? I have to assume that it's going to be a very close fight. And in a very close fight where there is no specific A side, right? Because you can make the argument for both. Yeah. It's super tight. You could say Boots is A side because they've made him, you know,
he's been the guy. He's been the guy they wanted to fight Crawford, but then forever. You know, Xander's the A side because he's the young Puerto Rican prince, and we're fighting in New York.
In New York,
we're coming to his, yeah. So it's like
exactly.
This is why, and my brother said this earlier on in the week that I also wish that this fight was getting more of a push than what it's getting currently, because this is a great main event, super fantastic main event, bro. What fans have been begging for in boxing, this is that fight. Two of the best in the division fighting. I don't see how. I understand it should be the 1 and 2 that have to fight, but the 1 and 2 rankings of the Ring magazine, this should be for that ring title, Xander Boots.
It really should. It really should. In fact, there should be like a certain little rule that says if a fighter who's ranked 2 or 1 isn't making the fight, or their promoters are keeping them out, then we can, we can hold the right to, drop somebody out of that 1 and 2.
Not only that, bro, like there should be a special circumstance if the lineal ring champion from the weight below comes up and fights the top 5, that it's at least eligible for the Ring magazine belt. Because think about it, Boots was the ring 147, and he moves up to fight a top 5 guy in his second fight at 54. I feel like that's credence for the conversation at least.
Oh, of course it is. But man, Alex asked a really interesting question here. I wonder what you think. He says, does the winner fight Virgil or Fundora next, or a lesser fight? What do you think, Matt?
If Boots wins, I think he's gonna fight, at least attempt to fight, a Sebastian Fundora. I think that would be next. I would have to completely see Virgil Ortiz free, whether that be away from Golden Boy, or they've come to an agreement to continue his career, because being out of the ring this long for Virgil Ortiz is bad. This is really, really bad, because we know about his health issues. His style kind of needs to stay active and moving. You need to be moving, especially in the division he's in currently. I've stood on the side that if Xander wins, he's going to move up to 160. I've stood on that stance the whole time. I understand. I think that Fundora fight could be made, but I think if it's not Fundora for Xander, that he moves up to 160, because he's been at 54 for a while, and he looks big.
But you say win today, bro. But if he wins, you think he stays down? You think if he wins, you said if he loses, he moves up, right? That's what you said.
No, I'm saying no matter what, I think he's gonna
Xander moves up. Okay,
but
okay.
I'm sorry. I think only the Fundora fight keeps him there. That's it. Because I don't think the Virgil fight will be made. I don't think Errol would fight him, because they're obviously setting up him to fight Zoo, then Charlo. And then looking around the division, it's like, who else is there besides that? 160 is open. The champions are kind of lesser than for Xander. If you ask me, there is a little stiff competition up there, but your biggest threat is Landy Lara, who's, knocking dudes out, but he's old. So if I was managing Xander, I'd have him move up. Because like I said, he's been there at that weight his entire career. He looked massive. He looks in great shape, but I'm pretty sure he looked even better at 160. And I feel like once he gets to 160, he's going to start cracking dudes.
I've always been of the mindset that if somebody is weighing under if they're weighing at least a pound, or maybe around a pound under the official weight, then they're probably pretty good for another fight, right? At least one more fight. I don't think Xander should move up until he is. I don't think he should move up until he can't make the weight comfortably anymore, because what it would suggest to me, if he were to move up, yes, he does have a size advantage at 154, but I don't know how that size advantage plays out, though, because it's one thing to have that physicality. It's another thing to have it in practice, right? Can the body withstand 160-pound punches? Can the body produce enough power to create moments against a natural 160 pounder, or even worse, 168 pounder that's trying to that's still successfully ballooning down.
Now,
those are the things that
let me
make or break the fight.
Beyond Sebastian, let's say, hypothetically, let's say he wins, beats Boots, doesn't make the Sebastian fight because he's going to fight Josh Kelly in unification. Where do you go with Xander?
Man, I this is the easiest question. Anywhere you fucking want. This is the Puerto Rican guy that just fought after anywhere.
But okay, I'm saying that though. Give me a name.
Sure.
Give me a name.
I got you. Hold on one second.
Like I said, because think about it. He's not going to get that Spence fight. That's completely off the table.
No, in fact, I'll go even further with it because he's not going to get.
Let me finish though.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
While you're getting the names, let me take names off for you. Okay, so he would have just beat Boots. Let's say Boots don't want a rematch. He doesn't get the Fundora fight because he's fighting Josh Kelly. That's 3 names right there. You take away Errol Spence and Charlo, that's 5 names in the top 5, and then you take away Virgil because he's still in a what we'll call legal situation with Golden Boy. That's the top 6 names. Where do you go?
Okay, so listen, this is where you go. All right, you knocked off Boots, Verge no, Bastion no, Madrimov is probably not going to happen. It probably wouldn't happen, but that's definitely a fight I would watch.
Coming off a win, he fought Crawford, maybe. I'll give that a maybe.
Bro, honestly, you could serve him Brandon Adams at that point. You could serve, yes you could you could serve him Erickson Lubin.
That would not be acceptable.
Here's the thing. Okay,
based off the question Alex asked. Now you're based off the question Alex asked, then that would be okay. He's gonna take a lesser fight, which it would be earned, sure. Exactly. You won a belt, unified, then you beat Boots.
And not only that, you fought Barao and Boots back to back. Look, I don't love the lack of activity any more than you do. We're coming from the same place. The only difference is I'm not going to try to force the issue just because Xander's beaten everybody he should and can't fight the people that they won't let him, right? He's done everything he can to fight Verge. He's done everything he can to fight Boots. It's going to happen tomorrow. And then where we are
capitalize on his momentum, though.
That's a different question. See, that's a different question. Now, the boxing I know says that Xander could be fighting in his next fight after tomorrow next year. So if that's the case, then yes, he can't fight a Brandon Adams. He can't fight a fucking Nikita, which I actually think would be a pretty good fight. Yes, not a good fight, but a drawable fight. That would be a good fight to make. I don't think they do it with Nikita yet, but all those things allow him to soak in the time if he fights consistency, right? And that consistency will allow him to be better in the end. So I will give you this. If Xander does what all the fighters seem to do in this era after their big win, and that's literally nothing for a year almost, if not more, then I would say he would have
fought twice already, though. That's the thing.
Oh, that's true. He would have fought
2 times.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. So then it would be 3 times. And that's the other thing. Is like, should we be like 2 fights is nothing? Like, this is crazy, dude. Like, fighters should be having at least 3 a fight per quarter, I think.
Because in recent history, we've had the proof, Mario. Look at Jaime Munguia. Jaime Munguia had like 6 fights in 2 years, bro. And then he started getting cracked and knocked the fuck out. And then he takes a break, slows his roll with Canelo, and he's back.
I wonder how much of that, though, is based on his lack of skill in the first place. Was he as good as we that's what I'm trying to say. Was he only as good as we thought he was because of the constant activity? Thus, if he reverts from the plan that we're talking about, does he ever even win any of those other matches? Does he ever even get as good enough to beat some of these into the road type guys or these bubble guys? I don't think so. I think that Jaime Munguia's activity and skill set go one. They're 1-1, right? He uses both of them to win his fights, even when he is not the more talented fighter in the ring. So I don't know. It's a tough question. Alex's questions are always so good.
Bro. Look at this though. Look at this. Watch where it starts. Right. He goes Derevyanchenko, Ryder, Canelo. Right. That's 3 within a year. Right. Those 3 in a year. And then remember, Canelo drops him. And then he comes right back after Canelo in September with a tune-up, and then he gets knocked out again right after that in December. So that's for Jaime. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 7 fights in 2 years. That activity, because those are rough fights, bro. Derevchenko's a rough fight. Ryder's a rough fight. Canelo, he got beat up pretty bad, and you get knocked out in that. I think going through all that in 2 years' time, and then that's a legit 24 months time, bro. He went through all that. Because look at it, bro. He got beat up by Canelo, dropped, and came right back in September and December, and got knocked out.
Yeah, no. You're right. You're right. I'm not saying. Yeah, no, it's very hard. Here's the thing, though.
But it's like you said, though. For somebody like Xander, it's different because he's only 23. But that's why I say it would. Because let me throw these two names for sure. I have one name he could stay at 54 for, just to get him to move up, and that's a good fight. Is Xander Devin Haney. Xander Devin Haney is a great fight at 54. The other name, obviously, to move up is I think he could move up and easily beat Lara. I really think he could. Lara, as experienced as he is and the power he's showing now, he's still old. Still an old fighter. And eventually, Father Time comes for everybody. Why not let Father Time select Xander Zayas? What do you think of those two fights?
I love them. I do. I was actually thinking of Keith Thurman right before you had said that, and thinking in the sense, no. And it's not that a fight that I want. I was thinking, oh, those are a fight. I said that fight can't be made in my head.
I'm not thinking that, but is it a fight that Thurman would take?
That exactly. That's what I was trying to say. It's like it's a fight I think could happen because Thurman's in a position as a fighter professionally where he doesn't have the luxury to like pick and choose.
Take whatever.
Exactly. I don't know, dude. This is a tough conversation, but let me end it with this, okay? Regardless of who's available after this fight, the good thing about this fight is that it produces a
star.
A star. It produces a true North Star, right? Somewhere where everybody can try to get to, right? So it's like boxing's at its most fun when someone represents the hierarchy in the division, right? So like Canelo and everybody else was trying to get to Canelo, and boxing's even better when you have like a stacked division like 154 used to be, where you had like guys like Mel and you know all those other PBC names, right? And so it's either one or the other. But if you win this fight this weekend, specifically if you're Xander and you become the next Puerto Rican superstar guy, you don't need to do anything. You can wait till you're at middleweight. You can wait to get a big fight. Like, you're the guy. Now everybody has to come after you. It changes the optics of boxing. Here's the other part about it. If Boots wins, he verifies himself to a degree as that guy. So, you know what I mean? It's a really tough one. He said, Mel.
I think this is why I agreed with my brother in his conversation with you on your show.
I'm going to give me 2 minutes.
Go for it. But yeah, I agreed with saying that it's better for boxing if Boots wins. I think it was what it was, because I agreed with that. If Boots wins, it pushes boxing further, confirming the star that people think Jerron Boots Ennis is, and making another top pound for pound fighter, giving him a unified championship in a second division, beating a young but top champion in this division. It's a great win for Boots. Very good win. And shout out to Alex and Joseph in the chat, as Alex asked, where does Josh Kelly play into all of this, or the Spence winner? And I do agree with Joseph in the comments. I think the play is for Spence to fight Charlo. You know, there's a storyline there, former stablemates. They've been going back and forth on Instagram, kind of calling each other out in the sense that, you know, there's no friends in boxing. And nothing makes if Errol Spence is to win this Zoo fight and a Jermell fight, nothing makes more sense than to allow him to move up to fight Canelo Alvarez and what would probably be both of their final fights in a big money draw at a stadium in Dallas. So there's no secret there. It would be a huge draw. Those guys' fan bases would bring the giant economy to wherever that fight is made. And I would presume, especially the way that Errol Spence has been talking, it doesn't seem like he's around for a long time. He's probably got a couple fights, 2 to 3, 4 at max. Canelo Alvarez is already speaking on his age. He's finishing up with Turki Al-Sheikh. He's looking for a couple of more big fights to make for the people. I think that Canelo Spence fight makes a ton of sense. A ton of sense. Because essentially they're, be the same thing. Yeah, 50K in Dallas is easy. That's easy business for both those guys. Yes, absolutely. I think they could do 50,000 easy. Errol Spence has been able to draw a crowd with a ton of fighters. He drew a great crowd with Ugas, drew a great crowd with Danny, even though it was the COVID era, but it was still a good sized crowd. And obviously Canelo Alvarez, the Mexican people will follow him wherever he laid his flag. Yeah, and that was teased for years. It always seemed like Mario, because I don't know if you remember some of those fights pre-Crawford, and especially with the way Spence was talking to Andre Ward, it seemed like the plan was he was either going to fight Crawford or fight Canelo and retire. It seemed like he was done no matter what was going to happen.
It did feel that way. And here's the thing. You could say that there's some validity to it. If you look, guys like us, Matt, we're sickos, right? We know and remember everything all these guys posted. Right.
You're not going to label me like those Wednesday marks that watch that show Dynamite.
No. I'm saying you're exactly the same. No. I'm saying you're exactly the same as us. You're a sicko. We're all sickos. So us sickos, we are gross and we follow Spence's fucking family and Wilder's family. Mm-hmm. And if you go back to that time and you see who was posting what, it looked like he was gone. It looked like he was all but gone, right? In fact, I would even be willing to say that there was a moment in the will he, won't he, where it felt for sure he was gone. His kids were talking like it. Even when he would see other fighters. Do you remember that Crawford exchange when him and Spence saw each other? Yo, it was like, hey, good job coming back. Like it was even Crawford knew he was retiring.
Pre-Crawford fight and even like pre-second.
No, I know what you're saying. I'm saying though, afterwards gives you credence to believe what was being said before. That's what I'm trying to say. It's like, yes, it was after that, but what I'm trying to say is that the way he was moving after the Crawford fight made you consider
the finish point.
That narrative was exactly.
So that's because when I heard that interview with Ward, it made more sense, right? Especially because like I said, pre-second crash, where he was, remember, it was like a Virgil Ortiz fight somewhere. I think it was when he fought the first time in the Dickies Arena. And they interviewed Spence, and he was like, yeah, they were talking about the Crawford fight, and he was like, yeah, but I could move up and fight Canelo too. I can make 68, no problem. And I was like, why did he randomly say he would move up 2 divisions?
Exactly.
And then you look at Canelo, and they brought it up to him, and it was like, well, I mean, it's like we were telling Alex just a second ago, Mario, if they do that fight in Cowboy Stadium, that makes a lot of money.
That's why I wanted to ask Alex. When you say Canelo my ass, do you mean because he won't fight Spence, or do you mean that's not a big fight? I don't think you're saying that's not a big fight, right? Because that's a huge fight in Texas. I mean, it's a huge fight anywhere, but it's a huge fight in Texas.
It's like you said, though, it confirms whether it was Crawford or Canelo, that was it. That fight, whatever fight happened that day, it was going to be over.
But
he was not going to come back.
The only people that would argue with those points are like the dick suckers. And like, I'm sorry, I at my age today, I've been doing this for fucking 10 years. All right. As a journalist, as a content creator, I can tell you that I've earned the right not to give a fuck about what a casual fan thinks. I'm sorry. It's like you trying to say like, hey, I'm a world famous. Well, okay. This sounds really gay.
Wow.
I'm not trying to say that I'm the equivalency in boxing to like a world famous physicist, but let's just say for example, I'm a big, huge physicist that teaches at like a MIT level, right? And then like the kid that won his 8th grade science fair is going to come up to me and explain quarks and quantum physics and dark matter. Like, no, fuck off, little kid. Like, don't make me go to your science fair and bang your mom, because I'll do it. I'll show up to your science fair with my Nobel Prize and I'll bang all your moms, maybe some of your dads, just to be a dick. Not even gay. I'm just a physicist that knows how to fuck. And so guess what? Your mom's fucked now. So remember, he didn't even say that. Said that Crawford.
Breaking news here.
Give it to me.
Bruce Pritchard, who has been gone from the WWE since WrestleMania due to some issues with his back, is returning to the WWE for Night of Champions. And we'll be back with the company moving forward.
Whoa. What does that indicate, if anything?
I don't know, but here's a couple of other things. I wanted to talk to you about this on my show specifically because Big E had an interview that had revealed a ton of things, right? And it vindicated one of my brother's ideas that the New Day was supposed to be the new era's Nation of Domination, right? I don't know if you've seen this interview yet.
I heard Mix, I think, told me about it, but I heard about
it.
The
name that Vince McMahon was going to give this group they were going to be called the Clan.
I've heard this. They
were going to be, and Big E confirmed it. They were going to be called the Clan. I don't remember what the acronym was going to stand for.
Ooh, let's try. Okay. Clan.
He said it. I just don't have the transcript.
Oh, he did? Oh, man.
Yes.
Okay, well, let's just make it up anyway. Okay.
Something like super like liberal, I think is what it was. But like,
what does that mean?
It was CLAN was going to be the group, not, just playing on words like they love to do. But they were going to be called the Clan. It was going to be the original 3. And
I thought, holy shit. I literally thought you were saying that the Clan idea was them becoming super liberal.
I was like, that was going to be the New Day. The New Day was going to be the Clan.
And they were going to be the Nation of Domination. Yeah. No. I get it now. I was confused at first, but okay. Oh man, what could the Clan have stood for?
I'm looking it up right now.
Look it up, but I want to guess first. So there's a word that starts with C that I can't get out of my mind because it's perfect for the joke, but I can't make it because I don't want to be in Dustin Poirier territory. Yeah. No.
Man, where is it? It's not saying. Bro, but yeah, I've never heard this name. Who is Abraham Washington? Who is that?
Isn't that Andre? Isn't that what's his name?
Is who?
Let me see. Andre Washington?
Yeah. The original group was going to be those 3, Andre Washington and Byron Saxton, and they were going to.
I thought Andre Washington was the name of was the real name of what's his name? Fuck.
Damn, I can't. It's like I'm seeing the moment. Okay, hold on.
Oh no,
because I'm seeing like they were going to be called the Clan, but nobody's giving like what the Clan was.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they don't want to. They're like, stop trying to put us into this mess, Matt. We're done with all of your.
We're done with all of your. We're done with share that last
comment. God damn it, Mex.
Don't
I'm not going to. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. And here's the thing, though. Thank you. No, Matt, thank you for reading it first, because I swear to Christ, I am the living embodiment of what's the guy's name from Anchorman? The one that Will Ferrell plays? What's his name? Ron Burgundy.
Yeah.
I am the living embodiment of Ron Burgundy. Okay. I'm the living embodiment of Ron Burgundy. I will read anything that is posted. And here's the reason why. Because I used to work for the Boxing Voice. We'd get chats all the time, right? We were constantly getting chats, and then we'd get super chats, right? So for me, in a position where only several people chat often, and then like a handful of people chat every now and then, I am in a position where I'm constantly relying on the chat and on the callers and on you as a co-host to drive the episode's narrative and theme, right? So I'll just I would have easily put that. I'm just telling you that right now. If you wouldn't have said anything, that would have gone up. I would have read half of it and then been like, yikes, I fucked this one up.
Yeah,
it's not a valid fight. Hamza Shiraz is lined up for Canelo, but I wouldn't say that he's lined up for Canelo. Okay, wait, maybe you are right. That is okay. You're right. No,
I would say wrong. He was lined up at one point.
I would say Canelo at one point was lined up for Shiraz, meaning that Shiraz's team, which can we include Turkey in that? Because I think we can by now. Wanted that fight badly. That doesn't mean Canelo wanted that fight, nor does it mean Canelo would have ever taken that fight. Although I think he would have.
Fight, but obviously he just chose in Billy. That was the fight. They gave Canelo 2 options, and he was like, that one.
I don't know if it was that simple. I'm not going to say it was that simple. I mean, can't imagine.
But if it's a deal with Turkey.
No, because you're thinking about Turkey in the sense of him being like the marquee is saying, "Oh, I want to make this toy fight this toy."
But
no,
it's not
you
even
have to
that,
think of Shiraz in the sense of him catering to him. That was his boy.
Yeah.
They were trying to raise that profile in a way that he hasn't done to any other fighters.
His guy. He's
exactly.
He's getting his guys to fight, bro. He's been.
I was about to say it, dude. I was about to say it again. Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
okay,
don't do it.
Canelo's got 3 left max, and they're going to be soft touches after he grabs a belt. Yeah, I'd probably agree with that. What the fuck? I thought we were guessing. We were guessing.
We're guessing.
Maybe some of those chat guesses should be left for the private chat between us. Hamza ain't producing more money for Canelo, and it's not bigger than Spence. It doesn't have to be bigger than Spence, though, because if Spence has his own sort of trajectory that doesn't need Canelo anymore, right? Then you don't have to because I get what Mex is saying here, right? But we have to understand that we're in an era now with Canelo and with Spence that is so different than it was 5 years ago. So it's like the idea that is like somehow you have to pick like somehow Canelo would get the opportunity to pick between Spence and Shiraz is like, I don't think that's ridiculous, right? You have a plan, the fight before the fight. Okay. And that's Canelo. That's the way that he's been managed for the last 10 years. That's the way he's wanted his career to go, right? And it's the smartest way. Listen, we might have seen the last official cash cow in Canelo if Zuffa gets its way. If Zuffa, Dana White can be successful at what they want to do, and here's the kicker, they can be unsuccessful and still manage to change the game and the landscape forever. Breaking news, Monday, July 6th, Chicago, the return from vacation. He said he wouldn't take SummerSlam build getting going.
Oh, I guess that means Punk's back.
Oh, I thought he was talking about the Pritchard shit.
No. Yeah. Thank God Bruce Pritchard's fucking back. Yeah. Well, Mario, I found the name.
I
found the name.
Yeah.
Citizens Liberation of All Nations is what they were going to be called.
So is that again? Citizens
Liberation of All Nations.
Oh, that liberation part's not good.
But you can call them.
So many people
call them clan for sure.
That's crazy work. That's crazy work.
Bro, listen, but that's such a Vince idea, though, bro. Is it not?
Of course. Yeah. No. No, dude. I didn't. Did you hear me? Did you hear me one time? Did you hear me one time be like, no, there's no,
I'm saying
not at all. I fully believe this. Like, there's no part of me.
Big E like that too, because like,
oh yeah. No, I don't need any sources here. Big E, nobody has to provide a source.
Yeah. And then he was like, and then he told us we were going to be called the Clan, and I was like, yeah, that's where he lost Big E, right? Fucking.
Yo, can I say something? Can I say something that I know that people aren't gonna like? That I know Alex isn't gonna like. I think that's a statement of Vince's separation from the people and because like you talk about like Triple H is being talked about a lot right now because Cody had said he has the hardest job in the world, nobody could do it better. And after he was done dick sucking him on Ariel, what happened was people started going after Triple H, right? And they're talking all this shit. And it's like, you can say the things you want to say about Triple H and like, but the truth is it's gotten worse, right? And same thing with Vince. Same thing with Eric Bischoff. Same thing with what's his name that's working with the Insane Clown Posse now. Nice. Russo, right? Everybody goes down. Creative goes down. Why don't you take a look at American writing and filmmaking? Every single thing goes down. Scream's not as good as it used to be. Star Wars is not as good as it used to be. Marvel's not as good as it used to be. Everything gets old. Ideas run out. Okay. So
is it ideas run out or people don't like new ideas like they claim?
Isn't it the same thing though? Isn't that the same thing?
Or do they want new ideas with the same characters they already know?
Dude, your fucking cam just broke into HD for the first time.
Right? It's actually like
perfect. No. I'm my bad. I actually am not saying Stream suck. I'm saying everybody else thought Stream sucked. But a scary movie. I haven't seen it yet still, but everybody says it's terrible. It's like one of the worst scary movies ever made. And which is a surprise because the brothers got it back.
I think, but those are like those cult classics.
Wayne's brothers got it back.
Like they're making movies for fans of that group of thing, whatever you like, bro. You know what I mean? It's like when rappers like get to that point where they're just making music for their own fans and everybody else says it sucks because it's not for you anymore at that point. I think that's what it is.
Well, but see,
because
I don't.
Scream is one of those franchises that should have stopped way long ago. They lost the plot a long time ago.
Sure.
I've heard the mixed things on Scream that it's good and it's bad, but it's the people who really like Scream are like, "Yo, this is great." It's like with my nephew. Yeah. It's like with my nephew and that Five Nights at Freddy's movie, right? I know that movie and what's going on because I played the game in high school when it came out, and he's playing the game now, right? But everybody else, if you're just going to watch it as a scary movie, it makes no fucking sense because you don't know what's going on. And they're only
I thought it made sense. I liked it. I never played the video game, and I loved it. I love the first one.
They're only talking to the people that know what's going on. It's the same thing with Scream. If you know what's going on, they're talking to you.
And are you trying to make the argument that it's okay for wrestling or WWE not to do the same?
Kinda. Because
I don't buy that. That sounds like bullshit. That sounds like, to me, it's like saying, hey, these guys don't know what they're doing to make good creative anymore, so let's let them off the hook because the lore is there. Like, I'm sorry, like, they're not talking to the main audience. That's the problem. The problem is they're not catering to me, you, the people that watch consistently week to week. Exactly. They're trying to get the casuals, the people that actually don't give a fuck, right? They just want to like jerk off on The Rock and Cody
to like they did to golf and baseball. And what are we going to do to get the people that don't watch baseball to watch baseball? And you're going to scare off the people that are already watching baseball. So,
yo, Alex and Mex are having a solid debate in the chat.
Alex has been showing up for the smoke like every day.
Hell yeah, bro. Alex, yo, I'm telling you, Alex is a
brother.
Cowboy,
we got a double
dog.
Feature. Don't forget that, ladies and gentlemen. Double feature tomorrow. Night of Champions in the afternoon. Then we got Xander.
Thank you for doing that, because we just got a big upload of people jump on in the last 20 minutes. So make sure you hit the sub on InfightigFX, and then do yourself a favor, go to Talking About Radio with Matt Garces, and on YouTube and Twitch, subscribe there, and then guess what will happen? You could turn on your notifications and be super tapped in for when Matt and I go probably like 8 hours tomorrow, I'm going to guess, right? Also, it's going to be like at least 3 for the, or it's going to be like at least 3 to 4 for Night of Champions. And then if 7 o'clock is the start time, and then the fight ends at like 11-ish, yeah, that's going to be like 8 hours, dude.
Good
Hell
day,
yeah.
bro.
We're putting
shift tomorrow.
Day.
Breaking news, though. Don't forget, Talking About Radio is now live on TikTok. Also, we have made our way over there. The show will be live. Clips will be live. But like you said,
hell yeah, bro, that clip you got fucking pop, bro. I got to get on my clip shit. You know what it is, though? This is what I'm going to do for tomorrow. And I always say I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. And this is what I'm going to start doing from now on. Mm-hmm. I'm going to have a pen and a paper, because I can't use my phone and my computer tablets because I'm always using shit. Hell yeah, I'm going to write not only timestamps, but I'm going to, like, I have a joke. All right, I'm gonna give this because there's only the main community on right now, right? There's very few people that don't listen usually that are listening. So I'm gonna say this. I have a joke that I written. Well, I came up with it on Monday Night Raw for a match at Night of Champions, and it's a joke that I've actually worked on, and I'm waiting for it. So I have the time. Like, I have what I'm gonna have it on. So like I know when this match is coming on. So like let me clip it between here and here. So that's what I'm going to do. But I have a good joke for tomorrow. Do you want me to tell you all the match, or should we save it?
Let's save it. Okay,
let's save
it. Because, that'll get people to tune in.
But do I tell people when it's coming, or do I just do it and see if people can guess?
Let it eat, bro. You got to let it eat. That's let it eat.
All right.
One thing for sure.
Maybe I'll do another. Maybe I'll do one. Maybe I'll do a joke for every match.
One thing for sure that I love about comedy, bro, is the delivery and the posture of comedians. Like early on, I used to love it as a kid because it's just a bunch of cuss words. But when you really watch Richard Pryor and how he controls the crowd and his tone and just how
genius,
like,
bro,
delivering like this, and then boom,
genius.
Joke,
comedic genius.
Or like Chappelle, how his jokes are just conversations that have jokes in them.
Exactly.
Perfect.
But these are masters of their craft.
Let it naturally eat, bro. Because when we're rolling, kind of like we were for UFC 250. It was great,
Yeah, except for the 9/11 joke I made. People got mad at that joke. I don't know why. I first of all, you know why they got mad? Because I was right. I was right. New York destroyed itself from the inside out.
It did.
And that's why people got mad. Because nobody said anything at the time. I made the joke and I thought, oh, nobody caught it or nobody cared. We had like 500 people on. So I was like, oh, well, that's cool. And then literally the next 48 hours were like, you Zionist piece of shit. Well, they didn't say that, but they said other stuff. They're like, you fucking hate America if you hate New York. I'm like, the fuck? You're gay. But anyway,
it's just one of those things, bro. Everybody, like, it's one of those places. It's got to be popping. It makes things better. New York,
exactly.
LA, Atlanta.
Yeah, E250 with Mario forgetting he was on the show, and the dead air from Matt and Justin was class. What are you talking about? We were on for like 5 hours. When's the last time, Mex, you've watched a watch along?
He's just hating, bro.
Because I know
because we did good numbers.
Also, where was he? Where was he to provide the dead air space? Because I don't know. Because he should be working on his set.
Yeah, you want to talk about dead air? Look at his reaction to the.
You know what? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna challenge Mex to come up with like, okay, so you know how the old sitcoms like Seinfeld and Cosby, they would do like a scene and then they would prepare for the next scene and a stand-up would come in and he would do jokes to keep the live crowd warm before they do the next scene on Cosby. Okay. I challenge Mex to at some point in this summer for an event, do like 5 minutes or like 2 minutes even, right? On that show. Like it would be like something like making fun of like Night of Champions or like whatever, right? Go do that. You didn't lie, but
we should just have him make commercials. That's what we should do.
Oh, that would be perfect with Joe. Yes,
just have him
he can roast me all he wants.
We should That's what we should do, bro. We should just have him make skits and we'll just play it in the blank spots.
No, you know what would actually get viewers? If he were to just roast and troll us. Like, let's say he clipped this part right now and I'm like, yeah, and I think Canelo, and it's like, you know what I mean? Just like random shit, like shit coming out of my mouth. Like, let me tell you how this is going to break down. I know exactly. Yeah. No. It'd be like, I know exactly how Xander and Boots is going to go. It's going to go. And then he's got like AI shit coming, spraying from my mouth, blah, 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 like something like that. That would
Mario said he was listening to us talk though. That's different.
Mario sounding like he was Mom Donnie poster on his wall with that joke. Nah, I'm playing. I know Mario thinks Mom Donnie is a clown. I don't think he's a clown. I think he is not. I think he's missing the plot in a lot of ways. But yeah, I don't think he's a clown. I mean, whatever. I think all politicians are clowns. Never mind. Yes, you're right. Mario himself admitted he zoned out and forgot he was on the stream. And these other two, no, I was texting them constantly telling them to speak. First of all, I didn't forget I was on stream. I was having chat issues. Like I couldn't transfer it, right? And then the other thing is I said I forgot I was already live because I had the mic on and then I said something inappropriate. So that's more of like, oops, I fucked up as opposed to like, oops, I forgot I was on completely. Because I even had the fucking headphones on. Like, how would I have forgotten? Goddamn, Mario, he gave you a lifeline and you wouldn't take it. Mom Donnie is definitely a clown. He's a clown.
I said chance to redeem himself because we're going to have fresh clips this weekend. Like I said, Night of Champions in the early afternoon tomorrow. Then we have the big card. Who's the co? Did they say Whitaker or Emiliano's the co-main?
So when they first did the card, I got the press release, and the way they lined it up isn't always the way it goes, but it is often a very like close, you know what I mean? And they had Emiliano second the whole time.
Okay. And
then I got the press release from this week, and they had Whitaker in the co-spot, not as co-main event, but he was. So you've covered stuff, you know how like, or you've gone to other stuff, you know how like they have segments for the fighters, and those segments go from the bottom of the card to the top, right? So Whitaker was given co-main event status as it relates to media, day training, and things like that. Where they
segment on the word, but I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so it's like they have the media run, and then they have the press release.
Emiliano co-feature at the weigh-in.
No. Oh, did he? Yeah. Oh, yes, he's right. They had Ben Whitaker third. That's why I was going to go with this. They had Ben Whitaker third to the end at the weigh-ins today. So if I had to bet, I would say Emiliano.
Because that's where I really want to jump in tomorrow.
With Emiliano?
The Whitaker fight. Now the Whitaker
fight.
Then Emiliano. Because people keep telling me that Whitaker is on upset alert, and I don't believe it.
Yeah, I heard you say that this week. You think so or no?
I don't think so. People are warning me about it, and I'm like, I think you guys are trying to go. They're trying to just reach and capitalize off of a Gaethje pick, but I'm like, I don't know.
See,
I can see it because Popeye's a hell of a fighter, but I feel like Whitaker is just gonna be too much for him at some point, bro. I don't know.
Yo, you seen him show up to the weigh-in with the Popeye pipe and the fucking sailor hat? Yo, that shit was fucking perfect. I just want fighters to have a personality. You know what I mean? Listen, it's nice when that personality is backed up by a badass fighter in the ring, but it doesn't have to be all the time. Remember when what's his name? The guy who we all thought was gonna be a badass heavyweight and he sucked, came dressed as Chucky and he had the Chucky doll with him. Yo, that was fucking cool, dude. Right. Blair Cobbs is one of the worst welterweights and junior welterweights in the 2020s, and yet he's more well known than like 90% of the welterweights in this era. Bro, so it's like,
nothing recently beats Stephen Fulton's Timbs and fucking starched jorts, bro. When remember that one? That was great.
Yeah.
When he had the Tim boots and he had the jean shorts, that looked dope. That was fire.
That was fire, bro. I'll tell you right now, I want to go back to that, right? See, I feel like Dana White just fucked up the game so bad with that shitty Reebok deal, because I'm from the era when Pacquiao had flames on his shorts, the no fears. You know what I mean? Like, I'm from the era, bro. And by the way, we had talked about this the other day. I rented it. I haven't watched it yet, but I rented the Prince Nassim movie. I'm looking at that movie and I see him and I'm like, damn, what happened to boxing, bro? What happened to boxing? Boxing used to be like, to a degree, like Street Fighter.
Bro.
Like, there was character, there were colors, there were AB wrapped himself out. No fucking boxer is gonna ever wrap themselves out again. Dude, that's the life. That's the
I need that documentary
line we're on.
I need that documentary of boxing picking up right when Tyson moved to Showtime, then forward. Because, and I don't want like the history of boxing. I want like the business of boxing side of it, the dealing with the networks, the fighters, the contracts, the new management. Because that always is going to be like, man, this is when they got into a peak and just bidding wars and picking sides and creating sides of streets. Need the finer details of that, bro.
Yes, absolutely, we do. So let me ask you real quick. The 50 Cent thing. I just want to ask you this real quick. Your guess, does Mayweather fight Pacquiao before 2028 starts?
Ooh, you're giving him a year and a half?
Yeah, because here's the thing. You either get the fight done or you don't. But I think if you don't get it done within the next year, it doesn't happen ever.
I think so, maybe. I think it happens at some point.
I love the Fury dress. And he didn't just dress as Batman. He dressed as like...
I forgot about that. Didn't he beat up like a Joker too?
Yeah, that was
a bad guy.
Yo,
that shit's
Fury, God, he was good. Listen, I think that if you look at what's going on financially, I think Mayweather can't afford to not fight Pacquiao. Like, I think that the fight with Mike, whatever his name is, the one with Iron Mike, got canceled because of the lawsuit, but the lawsuit was able to wrap in and tie in the money from TMT. So think about it this way, right?
I don't think he needs to fight him right now because they're gonna try to take whatever money he's got coming in. So that's probably why they're fighting
exactly.
soon.
Okay, so but then you're absolutely right. Everything you said was right, except for the one part where you assume that Netflix, that's how they're going to pay out. Because what I'd assume is this: the Mike stuff was done with TMT and Floyd as the main benefactor and the main recipient, right? So they were the A-side promoter and fighter. Okay, all that money is getting garnished, right? There's not a chance you don't get that money back. However, with the Netflix deal, you can circumvent that kind of payment and thus withdraw from your check by doing exactly what PBC already had done with Al Heyman and with Ellerby and with the Watsons. So at the end of the day, the problem Floyd got himself in was in his mind, is that he let people control money that he thinks belongs to him. And yet at the same time, those people performed a service that allowed Floyd to skirt paying certain taxes.
At the end of the day, bro, he did almost what Mike Tyson did, bro, and he trusted the wrong people at the end of the day. that didn't have the benefit of him in their mind.
Did he though? Did he? Or
yeah, bro, because it's the same situation.
Too
but
much.
Think about it, bro. It's the same situation minus the drugs, bro.
It's not though. It's
but it
not.
is, bro. Because think about it. If it's true that they're just telling him to spend all this money, they got this stuff covered, and that money never arrived from here to there. I believe that, Alex. That's fuckery, bro. He trusted those people. That's why he left with those people.
No. This is what. Okay, so you're right. That is fuckery. But this is not fuckery, and this could very well be where Floyd's at. Mm-hmm. Let's say 100 million was made on all the PBC fights, right? Obviously, that's not the case, but let's just say that 100 million so we can do it evenly. Okay, so Floyd, as in his mind, a partner of PBC, though never on paper as a partner of PBC, expected a certain split. So if his split was, let's say, like 40% of the main revenue as it related to his fight, he expected a quarter cut, right? Which is something that you'd get for a partner. So 20 to 30%, right? And I don't know shit about contract law. Don't listen to me. But at the end of the day, that would have allowed him to get paid, circumvent certain taxes, right? Take advantage of all the loopholes that PBC and Al Heyman have done for years and made, fighters and entertainers millionaires. And then when it comes time to you retire and you move on and you're spending money in the exact same way you were when it was coming in tenfold, now you're at a point where you're saying, wait, where's my other 30%? Maybe the money's not running out, but it's certainly you're not able to spend the way you were. I know Alex will tell us that, he won't believe that Floyd's broke until he comes out and says it, but I'm not saying he's broke. I'm saying he's not. Somebody or he himself is seeing that the money coming in is way lower than the money going out. And he knows that can't be sustained. On top of that, something happened with this money, like you're saying, it went to the wrong place or it went to the wrong person. And the taxes fell on Floyd. Mm-hmm. So now he's in a position where he's saying, I'm being sued for this $400 million. And I have not gotten my quarter cut of the $100 million that we made with PBC. So you again look at it. The only thing that we know from this whole story is Floyd needs money. Floyd needs money. I'm not saying he needs it because he's broke, right, Alex? I'm not saying that. I'm saying he needs it because he's showing his hand. Suing the way he did, coming out the way he did, doing all these things, 50 Cent using this video, which may or may not be AI, all of this points to a narrative that Floyd is needing to make money or wanting to make money for whatever reason. Mm-hmm. I don't think all of this can just be coincidence.
Do you think he knocked over a domino he wasn't ready for?
Maybe, and it might be that jeweler. He might have thought all the jewelers in the world suck my dick. I'm Floyd Mayweather.
Well, not even that.
And if I don't pay the bill, and somebody called him on it. When he sued
Espinoza and Showtime, did he do something he knew he wasn't supposed to do?
If what you just said is correct, he didn't learn it until afterwards. Mm-hmm. He didn't learn it until after he'd already started the domino process, right? And now it's like halfway down and he's like, oh shit, I fucked up and I can't stop it from hitting where it's inevitably going to hit. Mm-hmm. All I know is that Floyd Mayweather is in more financial peril on government forms across from overseas to the United States. He's being sued for more money now than he ever has been. And the government of the U.S. is back in the picture. To what degree, I don't know. I'm not saying he's being audited. I don't know. All I know is somebody's calling that count, and he can't pay it, and he can't not pay it, right? Hey, and some of these are assumptions for me, but I think they're safe assumptions.
Hey, Mario, going back to 50 Cent real quick, though.
He said, give me my 20 years to keep my GOAT status.
I think it was, what's that YouTube channel? Is it Fight Hub or Fight Hype? The one that was real big around Floyd when he was active. Was it Hype?
Oh, yeah, Fight Hype. Fight Hype, yeah.
How they were saying.
No, I'm just kidding.
They were pretty much saying where 50 Cent got the audio from. And I want to know, when did that audio take place? Because I agree, it sounds old. It sounds
like Mex Floyd said it earlier. I'm so glad you mentioned that. I meant to give Mex the credit earlier, and I'm
like
gonna
when
have to go back
Floyd
and
was
find it.
active
He
still.
said that. No, he said it. He said, this has to be old audio. Let me try to find it. He said something like, this has to be old audio because, oh God, I just saw his other one that we didn't post. Because, oh, what did he say? Oh, because of the PBC stuff. Because see, and that's what I was going with, the whole we're nerds and we're sickos because we watch and remember all the stuff, right? And Mex has got my brother's memory just like fucking implanted. And he's saying that the only way that they would have brought up that PBC stuff is when the comments came up, and those comments are like over 5 years old, at least.
Yeah, it's old.
So it's like, this is an old convo. And at the same time, you wonder if they already buried him. So many people were like being so gay online, right? I'm actually going to show one. They're like, this buried stuff should not be taken lightly. Floyd needs to get protection, or the government, or like the cops should come and talk to Al. Threats like that shouldn't be taken light. And it's like, shut the fuck up. This was a conversation that was private. He was talking and assuming it's real. I'm not saying that.
Well,
but
think about this though, bro. Like what
bury
I was getting at, right?
Means in paper, it means in lawsuit, it means injunctions, it means in all these things. It doesn't mean, oh, he was gonna fucking kill. Yeah, Al Heyman's gonna have Floyd killed. You sound retarded.
Think about this though, bro. What I was getting at, right? That kind of like narrows down where this audio came from. Is if somebody from Fight Hype was magically there the same day Ellerby and Al Heyman are around, it has to be.
Well, that was a phone call, though.
Was it? Was it a phone call? Or was it older era audio technology, bro, that wasn't as clean as it used to be?
How old, bro? Because it sounded, yeah, but the two voices sounded different kinds of muffled.
Think about it, bro. The audio on an iPhone 16 isn't the same as the audio on the iPhone 10 or the iPhone and the X and the XR, bro. That's what I'm saying. It could be like, I left this right under here in this room and it's under a bag.
I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why that's not the case, because I think you can. We'll go back and listen. My bad. You can clearly hear a distinction.
How do you get this?
You can hear a distinction between the quality. That's what I was saying. You could hear the distinction in quality between Ellerby's side of it and Al Heyman's side of it. It sounded like, to me, and again, I don't have a lot of experience, but I have recorded phone calls in the years as a journalist. What I can tell you is, listening to audios played back, it sounded like whatever was being recorded from Ellerby's side. Whether that was an app that records the call, whether that was a bug that was on his phone, who the fuck knows? But how the fuck do they get access to that and then get access to be able to draw it from? Because as far as I'm concerned, or as far as I know, there's no technology that allows you to straight up record a phone call in a third party. Like, that's FBI shit. We don't have access to that.
Yeah, because it had to be third party, because even in the late teens, you could only record your side of the conversation. So it's like,
oh yeah.
What did he do to get out?
I think if it would have happened, I think between 2016 and 2020 is the most likely that phone call would have taken place.
What did he do to get outside of the conversation? And then who from Fight Hype had that conversation? Who from Fight Hype or used to be with Fight Hype has that conversation?
Here's the thing, though. I think if Fight Hype had it, they wouldn't have put it out. It wouldn't have gotten leaked. I think Fight Hub
claiming it's somebody that used to work for them.
Oh, okay. Well,
so I'm saying, like at the time, who was there? Who else was there that had that much access to Leonard Ellerby, where they could get phone calls with Al Heyman?
Yo, and this is the point I was making. Mex said it so well right here. They absolutely already buried him outside of Tank Ryan, where Tank had to bring Ellerby out. When's the last time we saw him? He's right, dude. Listen, and he's saying Floyd never fought for PBC. Technically and on paper, yes, you're right. However, if you ask Floyd, right, he was PBC. He is PBC. He's owner of PBC.
Like how they claim that last Netflix ring event as a Zuffa card.
Exactly. And by the way, listen to this, right? Listen to this. You can say, okay, like there's this idea in physics that we have, that we come from a parallel universe, right? Or that not we come from, but there are parallel universes, right? The existence is so vast and space is so large that literally there are infinite numbers of you and me, and there are infinite numbers of us two right now doing this exact show. And in one of them, you're dressed like a clown, and one of them I'm Asian, and you know what I mean? Like, it's just all different all the time, whatever. I believe that, but I also believe, or it's not that I believe it. I think that could be a possibility, but I also believe that we live in a multi-universe world, right? Like my life as a Hispanic dude in Texas would be so much different written compared to yours, even though we share so much background, right? It's different. So when I look at multiple universes, I'm looking at Floyd's has his own universe that he lived in here, and it's different from all of ours, right? It's so different. So in Floyd's universe that he's experienced, he was a part owner of PBC. Yeah, he never fought under PBC because he was the owner, right? But none of that holds water, right? To the fact that Al has his own universe, Ellerby has his own universe, their own recounting of things and the way things were said and done. So
I mean, I like that timeline though.
Ron G took over Fight Hype.
Yeah, you know that.
I knew he was the main guy there. He's running Fight Hype, the whole site.
He's taking it over, to my knowledge, bro. But you look at that timeline, right? With what you're saying and what Joseph's saying,
crazy.
That Broner Pacquiao time right there in that time frame, that matches up, blends perfectly, because that's right around, Floyd's gone, right? At that point, it's been gone, right? And he's disassociating with the PBC. Him and Ellerby are starting to separate.
It would be incredibly inappropriate and bad faith of us to go through this timeline and say these are definitive things that happen that make XYZ true. However, coming from a point where we're just trying to figure out where all this is, all those are things that tie into the what now we'll call the official non-official narrative of Floyd thought he was, full partners with people, and when he was telling Conor he had bosses the whole time, Floyd had bosses. Didn't even know it. Like, who's dumber? Conor for having a boss that he's well aware of, or Floyd for claiming to not have bosses because he doesn't realize he does have bosses? Floyd's a dumbass, if you ask me, to be in that position. If you want to come out now and say this stuff, you're putting yourself in a very, very tough, awkward position that makes you look like a bad businessman, a bad promoter, right? Bad with money. Mex said this the other day on the show. He said Moten needs to get the fuck away from that guy. And he does.
You might want to distance yourself from all of this. Get away from all of it.
I would right away.
Go to like a Misfits Pro, bro. Just get away from it.
Mex, can you text Ron? Can you text Ron and see if he'll give if he's cool with you giving me his number? We were messaging on DMs, but I'm assuming he checks his DMs as often as I do, which isn't very often. But I had asked him to come on the show, and so that's where we had left it. But I just feel like we'd probably talk faster if we have his number. I'm assuming this isn't his number anymore.
So Mario, before we wrap up here, let me ask you this to put a ball in the situation. I'm not going to ask you how do you think it ends, because it's tricky to say how it ends, but do you think, first part, do you think Mayweather and 50 Cent work together? And if they do you think Mayweather does a tell-all of some kind and just spills the beans on the inner workings of the PBC? Or even reveals business about Al Heyman? Do you think he does that far to just reveal something about Al Heyman? What do you think?
I don't think he would. The only reason I don't think he would is it would open himself up to charges of or claims of either libelous or exposing info. Like when you have contracts with people, especially someone that understands contract law to the degree of an Al Heyman, it's not necessarily like non-disclosure clauses, but there are aspects of this info that you can't give out because it's all I can't remember the word, but basically like the way Al does business is perpetuatory, I think is the word. Perpetual. I forget what the word is, but basically it's specific to his business model, right? Giving out key details or certain aspects of his fighter contracts and or PBC and or network deals is likely a huge breach in that kind of. It would be like if you worked at McDonald's and then you were like fired or disgruntled and then you gave out the McDonald's sauce. Like, you can't do it, right? Or the Coca-Cola president gets fired, right? Or CEO, and then he goes and gives out the Coca-Cola recipe. That's not going to happen. It can't happen. I mean, it could happen, but you're going to get your ass sued really bad. So Floyd could try to muddy the waters for PBC and or Allen Ellerby, but in doing so may only really cause very short and long-term problems for himself. Because you still got to have a company that's going to fucking, you still got to have a law enforcement and or prosecution or jurisdiction for all this. Like, Floyd goes and says all this shit, and what about it? Who cares? Like, who's going to do anything about it? You know what I'm saying? Like, is the government going to come in and be like, oh, this sounds bad? Let me
re-say it then. Do you think, not even a tell-all, let's how about this? Would he take it to an arbitration to a point where he thinks that they wouldn't want to talk about what happens in the business side of it? What does the what do they call Al Heyman? He's not their manager or the promoter, he's their advisor. Okay, what does that role fully entail? Is he getting paid anything? Is he controlling their money of any way or kind? How many fighters is he doing that for?
No, you're right. I'm working on a video actually on the Eddie Dana stuff. I think I mentioned it earlier this week. And it is prevalent to this in the sense that when you start to look at everything through a magnifying glass that's been done over the last 10 years, you start to see some real problems in the like just overall landscape of this. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it works. I don't know how it doesn't work, but I can tell you that he should get the fuck out of there. I can't see Floyd doing that. That's never been his style. He's never even really disclosed what truly happened with Bob and Top Rank. Good point. Or Oscar for that matter. What happened with Oscar?
Good point.
Golden Boy stuff. The Golden Boy stuff is clear. He tried to finesse and then they basically locked him in on a fucking fight contract that he refused to admit. You know, before there was Donald Trump, who would basically run his own narrative, there was Floyd Mayweather who did the same. And now you could argue that he just got that from guys like Trump and, you know, rich people throughout America. But yeah, before there was Trump, there was Floyd Mayweather who understood that it's not about being right or wrong or truthful or dishonest. It's about narrative. Can you make people believe the narrative? And he was so good at that, right? Floyd was so good at having people just.
I can't even say narrative. It's like narrative controlling, bro. I think it's more or less they were like, those are two of the most media trained people you've ever seen, bro. Especially Floyd.
Yeah.
If there's one thing Floyd can do, it's talk to these motherfuckers, asking them questions and holding cameras, because he can charm them to the point where they forgot they even asked the question. And
that's true.
At an earlier age, Trump was able to do the same thing, bro. It's just quick.
Yeah. No, you're quick. Right. Yeah, you just got to have the grit to have people talk shit about you and call you a liar. It would essentially be insider trading for Floyd to come out with that information. Yeah, I'm not sure if it meets that criteria, but that's how I was. That's what I thought about when I thought about it.
Yes, look at it. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And here's the other part about it. It's like when you come out and you do that kind of stuff, you make it really difficult for other people in business to trust you, right? Like whoever does work with Floyd at this point, when they see if he goes that route, if he goes as far to do that, man, I think it tells you a lot.
That kind of makes it sounds like the way you said too, bro. It's like, is Floyd out here because he's the one still pumping money into the PBC? Is that why he keeps doing all these exhibitions and fights?
I can't imagine that's the case. I really can't, because it's like he has.
But he's gotten more dates than any other PBC fighter. If you look at him.
Here's the thing, though. That's not technically true. If you argue that it was pro boxing that he was doing, then I think I could beat that argument, right? So then if it wasn't pro boxing, he was just fighting, isn't it easier to secure like a YouTube style fight or like a misfit style fight, you know, than an actual professional boxing match? Like, how much easier is it to sign the dotted line to fight a guy named Body Jr.? That's what I'm saying. It's so much easier to do that than it is to sign a fight to fight Earl Spence or Canelo in a rematch.
But this is why now we've gotten to the point of Manny Pacquiao, bro. He's out of options. He's got to fight Pacquiao again.
That's what I'm saying. And so now we're in a situation where does he need the money bad enough to risk the record? And this is what Alex said. He said, I'll tell you how it ends. Either 50-0 or 51-0. No other options. Dr. Strange can't come up with another possibility. Hilarious. Mech said, Matt, but if that were the case, all Floyd's events would have some kind of PBC promo attached to it or undercard,
I'm
and
saying
they have
it. I'm getting paid this. What I'm doing with my money is putting it over here.
Sure.
You know, I'm no different than like how can I compare this? No difference than somebody that like helps fund a school or something like that, fund their own business with.
So then there would be a money trail. There would be a money trail.
Yeah.
And that would be the easiest thing to prove. I highly doubt there is. I really do. I mean, just from the scene, the narrative isn't, oh, the partners at PBC are having a big fight. It's Floyd's having a big fight with PBC, claiming he is PBC. And so that's a narrative that's easily disqualified. And so I don't think Floyd would put himself in a position to where the whole world sees that it was clear as day he signed a contract that basically made him talent, and he was a moron. Like that's a really tough spot to put yourself in, considering you might win 0, right? If he ends up 50-0 or 51-0, as Alex predicts, then he will unfortunately go down with the
but this is beyond his record
outside of the ring. No, I know. Oh yeah,
this is well beyond his record at this point. This is all about, you know,
well beyond. No.
Who's doing what?
Exactly.
Main point too is what's causing all this is where is all this money and whose money is it? That's what's being argued here. Where is this money? I can't imagine it's Floyd's. I really can't.
I can't imagine it's Floyd's, dude. I can't because it's like to say it's Floyd's is to say that he would have had a much more deeper relationship and or job, right? Posting with the PBC, and he hasn't. Like, he's not in boxing. He's not giving back to the sport. He's not doing anything. And I'm not criticizing him. Nobody does, right? Like Oscar's not even doing that. Like Floyd has not been a great ambassador for boxing in his post career, not even a little bit. I could go down the line and pick out guys like Alex Rodriguez and Derek Jeter that were far better. Well, maybe Derek Jeter is like an obvious choice, but Alex Rodriguez was a far better post career ambassador for baseball than Floyd Mayweather, who's supposed to be the most decorated fighter, the greatest of all time.
Yeah.
And yet, when do we even see him talking or doing anything that relates to boxing? The only time we ever see him is in between jeweler spots or vacation spots, and somebody randomly asks him about a big fight, and he finds a way to make it about himself.
It's his own fight he promotes, bro. That's the thing.
No, exactly. So then how can you come all this time later and be like, wait, where's my PBC check? For what? For promoting? For networking?
If I have a
what did you do?
But think about it. If I have a piece of this business, or if I'm assumed to have a piece of this business,
if you put in money at the beginning, then of course. But
think about it, bro.
Listen, he's talking about hundreds of millions of dollars, Matt. That's not a piece, champ. That's a whole fucking cut of the pie right there. That was a cut of the pie that he was meant to break off with his people, right? Mm-hmm. So everybody got their big piece of the pie. Al broke off what he had to. Ellerby broke off what he had to, right? Watson's break up what they have to. So Floyd's waiting for his piece to break off, but there is no. He got broken off, right? He's waiting for his piece to break off. He ain't got no more pieces to break off because he wasn't doing that. He wasn't an active promoter. He wasn't an ambassador for the sport. In fact, all he's done has it feels like become a case of like, don't be this, don't fuck up your money so bad that you have to continue to fight.
And these later Floyd fights are PBC events, then
he has every right to be pissed.
Then my piece of the pie should be much bigger than this.
No doubt. No, I don't question that at all.
That's what I'm saying. He's probably about to argue his fight purse and his equity of the business purse is two different things.
That seems like a losing. That seems like a losing argument if there is no paperwork. And if there were paperwork, this wouldn't be an argument.
That's
you know what I'm saying?
Like,
so if there were paperwork that he had that said,
if there's no real paperwork, Al's just an advisor, then why is he getting able to handle all this money or dictate people's career in such a pattern that he's allowed to? Why?
Again, I don't like Floyd has always done his own thing, even when he was within the confines of boxing. I don't see that being different. So to be now being like, wait, I was part of this group effort of people that established their, you know what I mean? Because he wasn't even showing up to fights. Like, what were you? If at the end of the day, you could do no other role than be the mascot for PBC, you failed at that too. So I don't see how Floyd could come back being like, yo, where's my PBC money? Maybe he could come back and say, hey, I didn't get my full cut of my purse, which is but that's probably doubtful.
If he's claiming hundreds of millions of dollars, where's it
then
come
that's
from?
A cut. What? That's a full
from
cut.
What? That's what I'm saying. But remember, his original.
That's what I'm trying to say.
When he sued, he's like, but what is that cut from? From what?
It's not from fights, right? We can agree it's not from fights. I mean, there's no way that hundreds of millions went missing from his fight.
The whole
purse,
situation
right?
is tricky, and like I'm reaching at straws anyway. But it's just
Me too. Same.
We're not going to be able to make sense of it until this is completely done anyway.
So I agree, but I do think that
the one thing for sure that spoke volumes to me was all the PBC guys in the comments not saying a lot, but saying a lot just by reacting, bro.
Very well said. Very well
Everybody
said.
Everybody that you know,
all of these replies were like 3 to 7 words. And
everybody that you knew that has done business with Al Heyman saying something was like, whoa, then that's probably Al Heyman in that phone call. You know,
Mario, please tell me you're gonna go see this Talarico's Tacos troll truck they have in Corpus. I haven't seen it. What's his name? Bernie is coming today or this weekend, and so is I can't remember. There's a bunch of like top Democrat and liberal politicians are coming to canvass for, or not canvass, but to do a thing for Talarico. But yeah, I'll be honest, dude, it's dire because there are like nobody's supporting any of the candidates. They're all just like trolling Talarico. So I don't know. I think you could definitely get people to not show up for him. I don't think they're running a campaign that's going to get him to show up for anyone else. I just don't think they go and vote. Manny could have some class and just have some fun with Floyd for some money, but Manny is a hater. Oh yeah, he said this part. Alex said this wrong. The record is the most important thing. MP Promotions is obsessed with taking that O for some reason. What do you mean for some reason? Everybody wants to take that O. Manny is petty that way. I don't think it's well, yeah. I mean,
no. Alex just needs to accept it, and I wish I had a payday button because that's what it's about. Let's just get to the point.
Payday,
payday, red panty night, whatever you want to call it, bro. This is about making a fuck ton of money.
That's exactly what it is.
Because think about their original plan was to not only put this on Netflix where it's going to make a fuck ton of viewer money, but then they were going to put it in the Sphere where the tickets were going to be outrageous. So it was going to make us a whole lot of money, boy. Let me tell you.
For sure.
And I know, you know what, Mario? We had that conversation. That probably could have been the only card where it was a one fight card, was that fight in the Sphere.
Oh, yeah.
It could have been just that one fight, and they would have made a shitload of money.
Made a shit ton of money. Yep. No, you're absolutely right. Matt, so we're going to be live for Night of Champions tomorrow. We're going to be live for Xander and Boots. Are you going to come in with us for AEW Forbidden Door?
I don't know, because I've never been a big fan of Forbidden Door, and the card Forbidden Door, I typically tune in for matches I want to see with Forbidden Door, and this year's Forbidden Door isn't like super sexy to me. Even like
understood.
The big like 12-man cage match, I'm kind of like, nah.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, that doesn't feel important because they just did it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like they can't just if you don't have stuff for somebody, Sunday, cramming them in doesn't work.
At the same time, Sunday, I think my attention is going to be on Rayo and De Los Santos. Granted, De Los Santos.
Oh,
I think that's Sunday. Right. Yeah, it should be Sunday.
No, you're right. You're right. It is Sunday.
Granted, De Los Santos has been off. He's probably going to get smoked, I would think, but.
It's a good fight card.
It's a good fight card for sure. That's why I think my attention might be on Zuffa. If people are telling me like, hey, to check out Forbidden Door because something looks good, then maybe. But like I said, the Forbidden Door is not super sexy to me.
This is what I was going to say. This is what I'm going to tell you.
Maybe Will's match. That's probably about it.
Meg said, "My brother has a family. He can't waste 17 hours for an AEW pay-per-view." Yeah, that's the problem. They are long as shit.
Mario, what was it? We did Double or Nothing, right? That fucking took forever.
Bro,
oh my
that
God.
was so crazy, dude. I remember it was like 10 o'clock and we realized there were still 2 matches left. I was like, what the fuck? This is
Bro,
gonna
and then
end
they took
after
those 2
midnight
matches.
for me.
What it was like a stadium stampede, and then the main event,
which
was gonna take 45 fucking
yo,
minutes.
it was
Stadium stampede was an
crazy
hour and a
how
half.
long it took. But this is what I was gonna tell you though. Okay. Obviously you're gonna do this tomorrow, but I'll tell you what would be great for Sunday. So I have on good authority, well, actually, they've all announced it, several top wrestling promotions. I mean, I'm sorry, top wrestling content creators and channels are not going to be able to cover Saturday's event that early. And they're not going to be able to cover Sunday because of previous engagements and events, which means there's probably going to be like 500,000 people, maybe more closer to like 100,000 people. I mean, I've done the numbers. It's like one of them gets an average of 40 to 50,000. The other gets like an average of 100,000, right? So if like you take all the averages, you combine them, there are going to be at least 100,000 or not more people looking for somewhere to watch along with. That's where we enter. And I can tell you this too. Coming in for a few matches only and leaving would be smart if you're going to make them the Will Ospreay stuff, because from your content, what I'm seeing, they love the reaction stuff. And tell me a better plan than this, Matt. You and I have the ability to clip matches and moments, right? I don't think that you will have a failed post of any if they are showcasing a Will Ospreay moment that you react to. So just recording the match and then time stamping the reactions, I think would be worth it alone, right? And that would be like what, like a 30-minute match
Sunday,
probably.
Because there was, news is obviously broke. I was gonna do a show Sunday anyway, and I was gonna jump in with you if a match I had my eye on and you were live. I was gonna jump in, but I was gonna do a show because stuff in the NFL has happened, stuff in the NBA has happened, news is breaking for baseball, and I was just gonna throw the reactions of the matches in there, guys. I was having it in the background or having the fight in the background, but what you say makes sense.
Because you know why it makes sense though? Because there's not going to be a lot of people, right? And it seems like the more exciting the clip, the more traction you get. And I feel like our natural reactions and responses are viral enough, right? I'm not saying like, oh, they'll all go viral, but we react in a way that could, you know what I mean? Like, dude, if you ever saw my Drew McIntyre wins the title in SmackDown against Cody, that thing fucking blew up. I never even said a word. I literally just watched and ran around the fucking house crazy.
The thing is though, right, depending on what happens in the fight, right, the night before, I gotta let those clips eat in order to get more clips going.
Sure, absolutely. But it's not a problem because you don't have to. You have like a 72-hour window for clips. I think by Tuesday is like the last day if Sunday is the day, right? Saturday, maybe Monday. But you have a full, like the first 2 days of the week are they're built for that. I mean, there's going to be way more people that don't watch Night of Champions and or Forbidden Door than there are that are going to be watching clips from Monday through Friday.
The thing is though, right? My audience is engaged from the wrestling side because they want to see me troll everybody for being right like I do on my end. Because if Brock Lesnar shows up and fucks Obafemi, like I said, I'm going to be unbearable, but they're going to love it. And that's going to eat for a little bit.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
The only thing that can upset the apple cart, right, is Xander or Boots getting knocked out, right? Because then that clip's going to take over everything.
For sure.
Or Sami Zayn winning the world title. Because then
I don't even think that would do it, honestly.
If Sami wins, I'm going to crash the fuck out. Because I'm gonna stop.
But I don't think
the show right fucking there.
No. I could be wrong. Your reaction could be good enough that it does the numbers by itself. But I think Obafemi winning or losing will be
Because don't get me
top
wrong,
reaction clip of that event.
Don't get me wrong. I would be way happier, right, if Oba goes out there and just fucking squashes Jey Uso and wins the King of the Ring, right? Love it. Perfect. Do it. But, you know, we all watch the WWE. We expect what's going to happen. And everybody else is looking at it now, too. Look at all the reactions around social media, Mauro. They're saying what I said the minute I saw that pay-per-view in. I was like, this is what's going to happen.
Look. Yeah. No. I felt, listen, I was on the island of Brock by myself. The moment he retired, I remember thinking, this is bullshit. There's no way this is the case. I might have believed it for like 24 hours because I remember thinking there's no way they did a fake retirement angle just to, you know, like get over on Oba, like, and steal a little bit of his shine. But it was obvious that Monday. It was clear as day to me. This was all work, and we were going to get the SummerSlam match. And then when Brock Lesnar won, I was like, come on, this is it. This is it. There's no way. Now, there are some sickos out there that believe in their heart of heart what we are going to see is Obafemi win and then win the title at SummerSlam and beat Brock Lesnar on night 2. That to me sounds crazy. Like, those people sound nuts. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't imagine someone who watches week to week TV less, because that's the kind of thing you would guess, like, if you don't watch wrestling and you've only watched like the Obafemi stuff over the last couple months. But I don't know. I can't say that I'm super excited for Forbidden Door. I am very excited to watch the Swerve Ospreay match, only because all the shit that's been talked about, how obvious the finals were and how obvious it is that Ospreay is going to win and go on. I feel like they have to make a good match. If they don't make one of the best matches of the year, this is going to be something that people shit on probably.
It's always been to me, bro, the incorrect hurdles that we're taking to get to MJF and Ospreay at Wembley. Like, that story was there. It's like I said,
you're absolutely right.
Those two had a great match for the mid-card title at Wembley that should have been the main, or could have been the main event. I'm not going to say should have. Could have been the main event at that year's Wembley event. Now these two are going to wrestle for the world title. So it's like...
Yeah. No, I'm sorry. I just saw Mex's comment. I'll get to that. That's crazy. I'm going to watch. Saudi will cheer for Jay like it's WrestleMania 41. Yeah, you know, Alex, I don't know if you were on earlier, but I had made this point. The Fanatics, right, is coming up, and there are 9 sold out people, right, like for booths. And of those 9, 5 of them are WWE superstars. The other 4 are a combination of Knicks players and something else, right? One of those guys that sold out is Jey Uso. Now, really? I've not appreciated a lot of Jey Uso's work over the last several months. And on top of that, it seemed like the WWE Universe didn't either. He has 5 of the most voted down videos on social media history. And that's what I was going to say. For people that are perpetually online, maybe they see Jay and they think his time is over. But I think that's the problem. I think today in this era, after the last decade, we focus so much on IG numbers and followers and views and clicks that now it means too much. Now we rely on them so much that we say this is what's working and this is what's not working. But the truth is, there are more people online that are only online as opposed to the people that are actually going to the shows, the people that are actually buying merch, the people that are actually spending money, the people with families, the people with jobs that can afford these tickets. Like, those people are still tuned in. They're still tapped in. And a lot of those people still love Jey Uso. You know what I mean? So it's like, I don't know. I think everybody that's online is like part of the IWC, whether they love it or not. Right. And that keeps you, maybe disoriented from exactly who's getting over and who's not. Yo, Mex said that B2K got destroyed by Pretty Ricky.
Oh my God, bro. I was just typing a comment that they got dog walked. That was the biggest.
Shut the fuck up.
Bro, that was the biggest mismatch of the summer. And we just witnessed fucking Chet Holmgren get punked out by Wemby, bro. This was insane.
Yo, I want to ask my wife so bad who she would think would win.
And they didn't even like Pretty Ricky didn't even do like all that good hits, bro. They had a lot in the chamber still.
Bro, it's crazy to me that they dog walked them, honestly. Bro. And don't get me wrong, Pretty Ricky, if I had to guess, I would have said I think I would have favored Pretty Ricky in this one.
Obviously.
But that should be like a 60-40 match. Like they should not have dog walked B2K. I'm imagining this fat, overweight, missing some ankles B2K, dude.
Yes, bro, but like
everything else, social media is only vocal minority. They're just loud. That's it. You're right, Max.
I didn't expect them to be competitive, but what we saw last night,
it was bad.
It was bad. If you get a chance, watch it. It's on social media everywhere, bro.
I'm gonna watch it 100%. Okay, so I have two more. I have two more topics. One of them I want to get through real quick. I don't remember if it was you or Mex that shared this with me, but Bob Arum came out and made a comment about Tyson Fury's availability in the U.S. And from what Bob has said, apparently, Top Rank is the promotion that has contractually secured the rights to a Tyson Fury fight on American soil. He still owes fights on American soil to Top Rank. So I want to ask you, Matt, what does this mean for the potential fight, AJ Fury? Can you think of any other fight other than Mayweather-Pacquiao that seems to have so many obstacles standing in its way? And tell us.
I think because it was my brother that sent that in there, it gave a little more to that thought of, hey, this might be going to LA or Vegas, right? But we were like, that doesn't make any sense. But with Bob Arum coming out and saying this, it's like, okay, now it makes a little more sense. Are they going to be able to get AJ to come over here? Does the bag get bigger? I don't know. But, I mean, it's super confusing because, like, I guess, like, he does still have a deal with Top Rank, and Bob Arum's not as, probably not as easy to swindle as the other guys he's dealt with. So who's to say? If it does happen in America, I think it's going to be it's going to be a tough sell because I understand the UK fans will travel, but with the stadiums they're picking to hold these fights, bro, we got to see what they're going to do.
No, you're right. You're so right, dude. You're so right. At the end of the day, there's this aspect of it for me that feels like it's too far to make now. Like I assume, like with everything that boxing has taught me, that money can secure anything and everything.
Mm-hmm.
However, the problem with money in boxing is that it's not about the total amount. It's about how it can be divided or how it's supposed to be cut up. So let's say $100 million is enough to make this fight, like for the two fighters, but it's not enough to secure the ends that some of these promotions and managers and team members have put into, you know what I mean? So it's like one of those things where you get in and you got to get out. What do we got? Ryan, what's going on? The Lion.
What's up?
Video's blurry. Are you in the shitter?
Dude, no, I'm in the middle of the thing.
Why?
Because dude, there's like 50 people in the cutting area.
Look like you're standing in a hot shower.
I'm
masturbating.
Maybe I'm waiting for my next customer
to masturbate.
Yes.
Jeez.
No, what's going on?
Like, whoa,
dude, no, I was looking at the things for the fight tomorrow.
Who you got, Xander or Boots? Who you picking?
Man, I want Xander to win. I think it's close to a 50-50 fight, but I think Boots is gonna win.
So you're picking Boots officially?
Yeah, because let's get it right. Boots' biggest win was Stanionis.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
And I mean, what do you think of Stanionis? You think of him as an elite fighter?
World beater? No.
He's good. He's good. He's not
a good fighter.
I think Barao means more to Xander's record than anyone Boots has fought.
I agree. And actually, but they said Top Rank didn't want this fight for him. Begged him to not take it.
They say that. I don't know. Maybe it's true. Maybe it's not. I will say this though. Xander looked to me at the weigh-in like fucking ready. He was like, "Let's go." Boots was the one who looked like his hairline was too far back. No, I'm just playing. No, it was. But
Xander looks huge, bro.
Xander looks so big, and he only came in like 154 higher. He still weighed in at like 153 point something. So,
but I'm gonna tell you this though. Also, I mean, this is Boots' second fight at junior welter. I mean,
this is Boots'. Yeah, very good point. Here's the thing. I think
so really, it's his first because I mean that other fight was only a round or a half a round.
Yeah,
that's
sure,
true.
Sure.
Very good point. Very good point.
So do you think his power is going to, transfer over?
I don't think it has to. I think he has to be the more physical guy. I think he has to make his moments inside count. I think he has to try to not be a bully because I don't think he has the size advantage to do that. But he does have to be the aggressor. He's got to make Boots feel uncomfortable. And I think he has enough size and strength to do that.
Bro.
Very much so. That's probably the biggest thing.
Because Boots, for what his resume is, he does have that experience, bro. And his IQ is higher than Xander.
Well said.
Yeah.
Well said.
Yeah. Like if you, but here's the other part. If you saw them both hitting,
hold on. We can't have this because there's someone with a Texan flag in the back that needs to be taken down or X'd out or throw a Cowboy flag up.
Hey, this guy's the biggest Texan hater, dude. I don't even get it.
No,
hey, don't worry. In 5 years, he'll
the
be on the bandwagon
man,
when we win the Super Bowl. When we win the Super Bowl.
Dude, what a bandwagon jumper, man. You're a Texas fan. That's a bandwagon jumper you're talking to.
What? Dude,
yeah, you are. Dude, you're a bandwagon
jump on a bandwagon? How do you jump on a bandwagon?
The Texans 5 years ago.
How do you jump on a bandwagon for a team that has yet to win the Super Bowl? You know what a bandwagon jump is? It's in 1999 when you jumped on the Florida State Sentinels. You don't know anybody from Florida. Why were you a fan of the Florida State Sentinels when you were 7 years old?
Dude, hold on. I like their fight.
They won the NCAA championship. That's why. And you've been a bandwagon jumper.
I was 6 years old. Oh my god!
Bandwagon
anyway,
Ryan, let me ask you this real quick. Have you heard the Al
Whoa! Break it up.
Yeah.
But seriously, what's up with Floyd? Floyd sucks with his money, right?
Did you see the Al Heyman? Did you see the Al Heyman Eddie Hearn?
Oh, dude, I've been
LRB video.
Everybody.
First of all.
Yes, I did. But there's a guy on YouTube I follow. He's like a financial guy. He did a story on this, dude. Like he reached out to ex-associates. The guy that Floyd wants to throw in the trash. That was his good friend and ex-associate. He called the Money Man. Dude, that guy has text messages with him being like, Floyd, I don't mind making you generational wealth. I'm doing that. But, dude, you need to stop spending so much money. Dude, it's on court record. The guy spent $3 million a month.
Yeah, dude. That's crazy,
bro.
$3 million a month.
You know what, Mario? I wouldn't be surprised, bro, because with the shit that Vince let leak on fucking text messages and Nick Khan, especially, who is more cognitive than Vince himself. Motherfuckers like this in that generation don't understand how to hide stuff, bro. My God.
Bro,
yeah, I can tell you that is going to be the most like complicated court case to read at some point.
You didn't see Floyd had an attorney who I think Dan Rayfield reported that I think she sent something to the judge that she wanted it like thrown out. They don't want it to go to court and realize everyone sees the guy who whole persona's money is broke. You know what I mean? Like,
no, for sure. Shout out to Alex. He tapped us into this. This is Floyd Mayweather, who just gave this interview in Greece. Now, if you haven't heard, the Iron Mike fight that was supposed to happen later this month is canceled. Or it was supposed to happen this weekend, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it is canceled. And the Pacquiao fight has been postponed indefinitely.
Well, dude, Junior, the living legend of professional boxing, alongside Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, Manny Pacquiao, and Sugar Ray Leonard, is widely regarded as one of the greatest about the legacy he has built throughout his career.
You know, I gave the sport a lot of blood, sweat, and tears to get to this point. So, you know, I'm very, very thankful for the support from people from all around the world, people from all walks of life. And, you know, I like going out having fun. Boxing has been good to me. The fans have been good to me. And I love going out displaying my skills and putting on a show for the people. You know, I'm in great shape. I work out every day, and I really never took any abuse in the sport of boxing. So
you just said you gave it your blood.
Just by being smart, being intelligent, being a very defensive fighter, and
now 49 years the Atlantic to compete.
I boxed in Germany. I fought in Russia, even though Russia is Asia. I fought in London. Remember, I done an exhibition in London, but I also had
just found that out. I promise you, he just found out that Russia was in Asia. He was like, I'm a really dazzle him right here with my
Jesus Christ, dude. Yeah, he was, dude. You know, he wrote that on his hand. Like, all right, I just found this out. Got to throw this fact out. Like,
dude, I heard he wrote it on his cock. No, but 50 Cent is still fucking.
No, but Mario, I was gonna
not a wagon jumper.
No, Ryan, I was gonna tell you is Tallywhack.
No. Listen, okay. So real quick, let me ask you this though. Floyd Mayweather, Al Heyman, LRB. You think it's real? You said right. So do you think it's a current video though? Because they were complaining about Floyd saying that PBC was his, but Floyd hasn't made comments like that in like over 4 or 5 years. So could it be more likely, if it is real, that it's old audio?
I don't know, dude. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. All I can say is that it's a fucking mess, and Floyd has put himself in a position where he might not even be able to fight.
Dude, like, he's the ultimate piece of shit. He did this. We found this out when Logan Paul went on the what's it called, the iced coffee hour. He did it with the Pacquiao fight. Dude, he was going to other people. He was saying, "Hey, do you want to buy this fight?" Okay, you do? Well, I want an advance. I want $5 million up front. Okay. Then he went to Netflix and tried selling the fight also. Dude, and he did sell the fight and got an advance for that also. That's what he did with the Logan Paul in Dubai. He sold it to those crown princes, and then he went and sold it to someone in Miami and fought in Miami and took $10 million from those people in Dubai.
No, that's a very good point. So right before you came on, we were talking about Bob Arum had just said that he and Top Rank own the rights to Tyson Fury fighting in the States. Matt, you were saying real quick about what this means in the fight. Do you expect the AJ Fury fight to even happen?
I think it happens, bro.
You do?
And I think it
in the States?
I don't know. That's the big debate, because if they are going to put Dana or Turkey as the main promoter of this event, it makes zero sense to have him show up randomly at the White House to tease an announcement, or assuming we're all looking at it like, hey, it's going to be AJ and Fury. So why would he be at the White House to do a big UK promoted fight? That doesn't make any sense to me.
Well said. And dude, not only that, but they got to. Oh, go ahead. My bad.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say, bro, they brought him into the country for that also.
Yeah. After him not even being allowed in the country, that was huge. That was bigger than the actual announcement that didn't happen.
Agreed. Ryan, do you think the AJ Fury fight happens?
Yes, I agree with everything Matt just said. I agree with that. I don't know where it stands. I mean, dude, I saw people's comments being like, I live in America, and this place, this fight makes 100% sense in the UK, not America. You know what I mean?
I've made that point. Listen, because it's not even about where it makes sense. I mean, it is about that, but let's put that on the side for a second. Who the fuck's paid for this fight? Who the fuck made Anthony Joshua and Tyson Fury millionaires? Who the fuck gave a fuck about them when they lost, or when they did cocaine, or when they got fat? Only the UK did. Only the UK believed in Tyson Fury when he was fighting Wilder. Only the UK believed in AJ when he came back to fight Ruiz. And only the UK has been truly in support of AJ coming back or not. American fans are like, when are you going to fucking fight again? He was just in a car wreck where his friends died. And yet we're thirsty for that. You got to go.
Bro, yeah, I do.
All right, man. Appreciate you stopping through. Appreciate it. I think he was about to talk shit about his customer. So anyway, my bad. Just close it out. Just close the app. All right, he found it. So anyway, yeah, I agree though. I think you're right. I think the fight does happen. I think it's got to happen in the UK. But I do want to ask you this though, real quick. Dana White there's no chance he'll step aside to make this fight, right? To like, if he had to step aside, there's no way he would do it. Nor would Bob, nor would Frank, nor would Eddie, right? That said, if this fight were not to happen, Matt, who do you think boxing and who do you think the history of boxing will blame it on? Or will it be like everybody is involved is to blame?
It just comes to picking whatever side you're on at this point, bro.
Because can you for a minute get out of that and try to like logistically say who you think? Because there's two narratives. One, Frank and Eddie are definitely to blame because they had so much time to make this fight. Bob's definitely to blame because he actually had the ability to have.
There's equal parts blame to all this, bro. That's the big part. So it's a matter of where though? It's a matter of where you stand to who gets blamed. Because even to me, I don't even really know because like, okay, I could blame Fury for even, doing what he's done, making Turkey his promoter and allowing Bob Arum to control him in America like this, or even forgetting that he had fights if he did in America still. I can also blame Bob because he's being a dick, but like saying, hold on, you owe me fights, motherfucker. And, if you're going to fight, you're going to fight over here. You owe me fights still.
Yeah. No, I can see that.
He's going to be a real stick in the mud because, he's been through this plenty of times before. And if it's a lot of money that this fight's going to make, he's going to get his cut or he's going to get the fight. I can also blame AJ because, we could have just had this fight a long fucking time ago had we just nailed this all the way and put our egos to the side. It's equal blame everywhere, bro. I can blame DAZN. I can blame ESPN, Top Rank, Matchroom, Queensberry, Turkey Al-Sheikh. Everybody's got a piece to blame here.
That's a fair point. My worry is that boxing fans, specifically in America, will look at the situation and say, hey, when Dana got involved, things got more complicated.
Oh, yeah. They're going to blame Dana.
I think they will. And I don't think that's fair because, again, this fight should have happened so long ago that at the end of the day, to put it on the guy that got there late isn't fair. At the same time, again, you can make the argument that he's splitting the pie even further and unnecessarily. You already had 3 promoters involved in this fight.
But
you had a 4th.
Let's not get it twisted, bro. Eddie Hearn said it perfectly. Turkey Al-Sheikh preaches peace and wanting to come together and work together, but he loves the fuck shit, bro. He loves it.
He loves that fuck shit.
He loves seeing the problems stir and he enjoys it happening.
Yo, it gets his toes wiggling in the mandals, bro. He gets all horned up for it.
For sure, I think that was his plan, bro, before we wrap up here, was to get everybody on DAZN and then gut everybody and give them the damn.
I exactly think that was exactly what they wanted to do. You're right.
I'm gonna move everybody over here, and I'm gonna take whatever
and then
stars I can.
And that was like
young talent is loose.
And that was the PBC plan. You know what I mean? It just, I don't know. But listen, that was the last topic as far as boxing. There's one last topic I'm gonna do, and it's for a special friend of mine, so that I can clip this at the end and send to him. We are talking peptides. Matt, do you want to jump off and give your thing? Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, I'll jump off for this one. Shout out to everybody tuned in, to the likes that came in. Shout out to, like I said, last time when we were live, double weekend, to those 10 new subscribers. Tune in, Talking About Radio, youtube.com, Talking About Radio, TikTok, at Talking About Radio. You'll see the clips. You'll see my face. You'll see Mario. You'll hear my brother and Justin and all our friends that come along with us, plus more. We're going to start doing interviews. I'm going to stop being lazy, even though I intend to be a weekly format. I'm going to start recording interviews and posting them out there. So keep your eyes out for those. Hopefully everything works out. And within the next year, Mario, we take this show on the road, like we said, and we'll go out there and get some indie interviews and just local fight interviews. Because I feel like that's a good path right there. Get the community around us and then max it out to the state, then the country, and keep the national news going. But anyway, tomorrow, like we said, Night of Champions, Xander, Boots. Stay tuned in, Mario.
Brother, I'll see you tomorrow, champ. Can't wait for it. Hell yeah. Shout out to everybody on the Talking Bouts radio community. Shout out to Machine Gun Matt.